Hey, we will wait.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing today?
Part 2. The deportation, regular guy, and looks like Armstrong found him a new job.
Selling fish balls.
Selling fish balls.
Selling fish balls.
Armstrong and regular guy can sell fish balls. So, guys, we'll wait for the room to build back up again. There's something possibly going on with the internet or something, so we had to restart the live. So, we had a power outage. This is for those that are rewatching. We had a power outage last night from like 10 to 3. So it went out in the middle of the night. Hey, what's going on? And so we've had several this month already, but we think it's because of the status they're putting the grid into.
Now this power outage, I don't believe you actually haven't because I actually didn't experience it.
It's because you slept the whole time. That's fine. We've had several this
I
month.
did. I slept through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. That's the way it went.
I passed out before the power outage happened. What woke me up is when the power went back on, the lights turned back on, and that's what woke me up.
Yeah. Kind of weird. I know.
But no. It's not normal. Usually in this area, usually the power outages are scheduled, meaning they give out a notification on Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, you should start one in the Philippines. Facebook is everything here. They gave a notification on Facebook like, "Hey, we're gonna shut off the power between 2 and 5, something like that." And then that's the time we're like, okay, we're ready for it. We do check for gas supplies and everything else, that kind of stuff. Right now, our gas supply for the generator, we can survive probably a 6 hour or maybe an 8 hour power outage. But point being is always buy a generator, always be prepared.
Yes.
Hey, Bisayan Kano, how you doing, man? Lou, Heidi, and George, how you doing? Generator, yes, we are both here in the Philippines. Um, Normally, see this wall right here? If I rip this wall, it will come out Philippine yellow. Just saying. And the reason why I brought that up is most places you'll rent are probably painted with Philippine yellow.
Wait. So yeah, it's
Bisangana wants to know
yeah.
how your Tagalog's going.
Yeah, you can actually see the yellow there.
Well, yeah.
But yes, and we have other footage, guys, that is recent. We have some that we'll be putting up on Friday of Angelus. Oh, sorry. And we have a bunch of other videos, a bunch of them. It's coming along about as good as George's, my translator. So
Huh? That didn't make sense.
it's about as good as you translating for me. That's okay. Never mind.
All right.
It was funny the first time.
Yeah, John, they are. John. Hey, John, you're in Cebu. Good to hear that. Oh, and Bisangano is in Mindanao. There you go.
Yeah,
You're in Azamis City, Cebu, Azamis City. So again, before we had a big lag or something going on earlier today, and wow, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm trying to go in there. Looks like the same thing's happening again, but it's not just us. Yeah, see, look, it still showed. I just closed out. It showed it was ending, and now it's still got a number on it. It was totally closed out a minute
Yeah,
ago.
hey, K Dallas, how you doing, K Dallas?
See, now it's running a different number, but it's a closed live stream. So there's something going on with YouTube right now.
Yeah, no,
It's still showing our
I
last
don't think
live
that's
stream.
real. That's the point. You have to ignore that number.
No, I am, but why is our last live stream still showing there? That's the weird part.
Well,
And it's not showing the new one.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, dang it, babe.
What?
I did connect the live stream. So why is this?
Oh, you think it's FB?
It's what?
Facebook.
No, it has nothing to do with Facebook.
All right. Well, anyway, sounds like lady pretend problems or shotgun wedding stuff. Right there you go. Peek with you. Another live stream is saying there's a problem with StreamYard. Right? I know. There's always issues. The problem you face again, one, I can't reiterate this over and over. Don't be a YouTuber. It's one of the things you don't want to do. Trust me. Um, the reasons, one, again, YouTube itself has its own problems. Um, and according to Hector Gubat, as apparently you do know a little bit as far as how the industry works, is StreamYard has its own problems too. You add two somewhat, they have their own bugs and issues, and then you mix them together, then you don't know what the frick is going on, nor do they.
Yeah, but I don't think that would have anything. Why would they hold that kind of issue? That doesn't make any sense, regardless if they think it's StreamYard.
Well, that's because they do some updates or tweakings behind the scenes, and
So then they mess with numbers and.
well, it may have inadvertently affected the wrong number.
Gotcha.
Yeah, programming is not programming is a science, but sometimes you get to hit the wrong number, wrong line, wrong variable, and it screws everything up. Man, and see more people kicked out. Right, I know. According to the article, that there are more. Well, the article said Filipinas specifically, but not. That's only because that's the higher population, I guess. Right.
Hmm. I'm not feeling good about this live stream again. There's something going on with live stream, and I'm not buying that. That's still, unless we're just going to restart it and actually come in on something else.
Well, that's not going to fix it. You can't fix what's going on with YouTube or Streamer.
Oh, that's because, okay, I see why he's barking. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, I'll pull the article up here in a moment. Right now, we're allowing the room to build up because we just ended almost an hour live stream discussing this, but it looks like
Hey,
there's
Bruce.
still something going on.
No,
Hey,
there's still
Bruce.
something going on there.
No, it shows there's like 3 people in the room. We know there's more than 3 people in here, but it's kind of,
John Ryder,
and it's
interesting
happening to
theory.
everybody.
YouTube may last another 2 years. Now, I'm not defending YouTube by any means. However, I think you're wrong, only because, again, nothing to do with you. The reason being is YouTube is owned by Google, and Google pretty much governs everything right now as far as the internet goes. I mean, I know there's Bing and Microsoft, whatever. Bing is Microsoft, yeah. But Google has a very firm grip hold on a lot of things online.
And they'll just switch to something else. So, like, we've been doing
Right.
all
If
social
YouTube
media.
dies, odds are it's going to be reverted to something else. But the problem is you face. No, I'm not again. I'm not picking at you. I'm just talking about technology wise. Right now, there's a movement again in the U.S. They're going to get rid of TikTok, which again they started that and then they stopped it. If they get rid of TikTok, that'll only make YouTube even stronger. That's all I'm saying, basically. Um, MF, I love your smile, Shanice. Oh, okay. Man at work. Hello, guys. Best regards from Geneva. Like your show, accurate and to the point. But I'm Salamat for the for the sharing. But I'm Salamat. Thank you so much, guys.
We got to put a guard cat out there. They're a lot quieter.
Bruce Davis says, "Did I miss something?" John Ryder, yes. Ever since they lost Google, it will be gone. Huh?
Yeah, Google and YouTube are both the same. That's who pays George is Google AdSense.
No, it says since they lost Google.
Oh, I got
I think I missed something there.
that. Bruce said, "Just do the stream."
Yeah,
Not
plenty of
yet.
foreigners need to be removed from Angel City. Well, that's.
However, they actually deport people. That is for sure.
I mean, I mean, again, like there's a lot of people. I mean, even in the U.S., what I'm saying is they don't. Unfortunately, they just don't deport people. It's just the way countries are. Again, in the U.S., you have to commit like a felony or something before they deport you, something like that, or certain misdemeanors, they can deport you. But here, same thing. You have to do something in order to get deported. Not necessarily more serious like the U.S. Here, you can just yell at somebody, and if they report to the right people, you can get deported. In the U.S., you have to perform something more serious. Besides gonna says streams to be doing okay now, no issues. Just do the stream. Racer X, hey, present. There you go. Mike Dowdy says it won't let you give a thumbs up.
It's YouTube. I told you it's a YouTube glitch.
Right, that's what we said. Yes.
Because just a minute ago it was holding the old live stream open. That's not StreamYard. There's something going down with YouTube right
Yeah,
now.
there's something seriously wrong with it. I mean, seriously wrong.
So let's discuss really the what you call the Trojan horse in the room or the elephant in the room or the situation going around about we were discussing the Armstrong family and the possibility because of the new article that just came out in the last 12 hours. And it's not the first time we heard it, where spouses are reporting when people are out. They do it in the U.S. out of, at a violation because visas are being not used properly. In this case of the 13A, the question would be, okay, is Richard out of status because he hasn't been in the same house with his wife? So a lot of people send emails like she could turn him in.
Richard from the Armstrong family.
Yeah, let's talk about the Armstrong family
Yeah.
first. Richard from the Armstrong family. Then in the previous live, somebody mentioned that in the comments, he mentioned that he might have another job with somebody else. And well, it depends. Does he think he still has a work permit because he's on a 13A and is he illegally working for the other ones? Is he really in another job? Is he going to go home? We're giving a scenario what might happen. And now comes up another thing of regular guy. Okay, we had regular guy on our live stream. There's a thing going back and forth about him being deported, and several channels covering this in regards to his illegal alleged activity. There's a call for him to be deported. My subs should go and do this, and all these things going on about regular guy. Um, you know, what's everybody's thoughts on that? Are you guys a supporter of regular guy? Do you agree that what you've seen so far is he actually to be deported? What are your thoughts on just the whole situation? So
Right.
that's what I'm actually curious on what people think about. Are you guys, if you're here in the Philippines, are you going to go take a trip down to immigration to report him? The one fact that I do know is him appearing on Mike's channel, MYK, Mike's Philippine Journey, and mentioning how alleged hiring in help. I was telling George this morning, and then knowing he's going to seduce her or using a story of somebody else about seduction of the help in the house, knowing they're between the age of 18 and 20. So a lot of people are reporting his activity is off and what they think about that. And then the behavior on the streets, him panning in on girls. A lot of people are saying they don't think there's a problem. And so there's just a growing conversation of regular guy and his activities and to report him. What else can I say about things that are going around? Dating sites, he's specifically looking for 18 to 20 something year olds, specifically targeting. Me and George were like, well, so do a lot of other expats, including the ones that marry him. They tend to be in their 20s, under 20. And so it's just like, I guess it's just gotten to be normal where the guys are dating younger women and everything. But, I don't know. That's just where it is. Are we 100% sure on the ages? Are we 100% sure on what's really going on? When does it turn into our business? Is these guys that are wanting to hunt him down, is it all, legit? And where does
Well,
it actually draw a line? Are you guys that are living here, are you guys going to put yourself in that predicament to go hunt him down? I mean, there's a call for him to be hunted down. Are you going to
on
get
a
involved?
on a legal standpoint, regardless of what you guys think or what we think,
It's an open
what I
discussion.
think or what Heidi thinks,
Right.
on a legal standpoint, legal age of consent is 18. Forget what you guys hear. I mean,
And he'd
you
have to
guys can
make a lot
argue
of
with me all you
stories.
want about 14, 16. That's not how it really works. Bottom line, the real legal of consent is 18.
Hmm.
Now, that being said, technically, if he wants to date, if a regular guy wants to date an 18-year-old, in the eyes of the law, that's okay. Now, what you think of that, that's a different story. Um, the interesting thing about, first off, it has come to our attention that it's default that somehow when Americans come to the Philippines, male Americans, when they come here, it seems to be their default idea is to be with a younger woman, which again, there's nothing wrong with it as long as
Hmm.
they're of legal age. And the reason why I said that is actually Richard, aka Richard Armstrong, his own exact words is, why do you think I'm married a middle aged woman? It's like, dude, you just called her out, which again, it's kind of like, if he had an issue with her age in the first place, if he didn't have an issue, he would have mentioned, he would have says, oh, why do you think I married a Filipina, this and this and this.
Hmm.
He wouldn't have says, why do you think I married a Filipina who's middle aged? No, that means that the age was a concern for him. And again, be aware, there's nothing wrong with dating a younger woman or
The
older
the
woman.
problem is coming into the fact that they're saying that he's targeting underage women. As I'm to understand, 17, 16,
Regular guy.
offering to buy him things. Do we know their ages? All of this. I We're not condoning and accepting what he's doing, but it's like kind of like it's not a get in line situation. Let's put it this way. Do you realize how many pedos and sex bats that literally come here looking for 10-year-old and 9-year-old children constantly? How many they reject out? How many are actually living among these business owners, foreigners, and otherwise, other countries? And they're coming in, they're pouring into this country. They've been doing this forever. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's nothing new. And if you come to the Philippines or certain parts of Asia, it's almost in the, I mean, there's Walking Street that promotes it. The mayor knows what's going on down there. Everybody knows what happens in those areas. People know that there are young women willing to date and marry these older men. A lot of them are after the money. And I mean, this whole thing, like when I first got here, it was like evident everywhere that all of this was going on. It's kind of like knowing about that 17-year-old and the older Filipino. I'm not going to get involved. Are you guys getting in line to report a vlogger with some, because there's others out there running their mouth? They're going to hunt them down and they're going to do all these things. It's I don't know. So it's definitely something to actually think about. I mean, they do have guys that do, like, what do they call them? They're not really mercenaries. I guess they're hunters of some sort. There are teams and legal teams that take care of this. Is it in a vlogger's best interest to get involved on an individual basis and just go out and start hunting people down and spending days at a time looking up information and doxing people? And it's just not one channel, it's tons of channels that are doing this. And I got what's going on. And but here's the thing, when the true ones are really out there 100% in your face, okay, because I'm sure he's rolling over right now in his chair like, what's up? Or the other ones, like the guy that lived here in Mabalacat. He had young 7, 6, 5-year olds in the house, closing the door, feeding them, letting them take showers. His girlfriends were 13 and 14, and he put it all out there and had a website of all their photos. Okay. That was blatant. Where was all the other vloggers when this was going on? What, less than 2 years ago? Nobody even covered this guy. I mean, there's just so many of them out there right now. And I'm not saying nothing can be done, but they do have the authorities and other people that come. They even have teams from the US that come on over to deal with some of the stuff, and they're getting better at it.
Right.
It seems like judge, executioner, and the whole thing is being wrapped in one in some of the channels that are after specific people. We're not saying that he's guilty, we're not saying that he's innocent, but they're like blatantly there. Why won't those channels go after Tom Lachone or whatever his name is? Talk about some blatant stuff right in front of the camera. I double dog dare them. They're not going to go after that guy. I'm going to tell you that right now. There are blatant channels right in front of their faces. I call them out on those other
There's a
channels.
lot worse channels that again do
Why won't
worse
you do
stuff,
something about that?
and it's kind of like you go after the pedestrian type of people. You know what I'm saying? That's like if you're boasting to be a SWAT team, you're basically shaking down the guy who works on the corner rather than shaking the actual cartel. You know,
Yeah, it's
it
believe me, guys. You go to Thailand and here, you realize it's like blatantly in front of your face. Once again, you got one leg to stand on. Okay, do you realize those people that are out there doing it
and the
are just?
reason why again is
Yes,
because honestly they can't.
I don't think they will. They don't have the balls to do it.
Correct. They can't.
The
They
keyboard
can't.
warriors can
They
pick on the
cannot.
small people and make fun of people's size and make fun of their hair and make fun of their sexuality and they make fun of everything
Right.
else or talk the good talk, but why aren't they going after the real people? So that's a challenge. Go after
Because they
some of the
can't.
bigger channels.
And
Why? We're not saying that he's innocent either. What we're saying is, what about the others? Why are you just like hitting the brakes on a few vloggers that you claim is, you know, violating? There's just all kinds of things being said about different channels. And so that's
right.
all.
No, there's a science to
So,
it, but I'm not going to break it down for you guys because again, this is not what this
so what's
live
your
stream is
guys'
about.
thoughts on us saying about the other channels? That's the big thing.
No, I disagree with you. Travel trends pay us this, and you cannot online or do anything in classic pyramids. I disagree with you. There's a lot of things you're not allowed to do in the Philippines as an expat, only because one, and this is understandable. And anybody who is a patriot, meaning I don't know where you're from, travel trends. I assume you're from the U.S.
Hey, travel trends. He's
Right.
been leaving good
Well,
comments.
no, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is in the U.S. PS this you can't own anything up here. I get and I feel for you. I'm not saying I just disagree with you 100%. I'm saying you have to remember that in the end, Philippine law, for example, you can't own land as a foreigner is because one, that's technically patriotism on our part, meaning we don't want Chinese companies to come over to the Philippines and buy out the land and eventually Philippines will turn into China.
Hmm.
Now there's this certain movement going on in the US, yada yada yada. Point being, I'm not gonna go deep into it.
Yeah.
But there are laws in place here in the Philippines to protect the Philippines, and that's why.
Hmm.
Nothing to do with, you know, pyramid schemes or anything like that.
Yeah.
LG out this another one I disagree with you. Angeles City is a red light center of the Philippines. The weird, crazy, lonely will come to Angeles. Now, I agree the weird, crazy, lonely will come to Angeles, but it is not definitely not
All of
the
Angeles City.
red light center. First
It's
off,
like
there's
2
several
streets.
locations in the Philippines, not just Angeles. And when you say Angeles, I mean A-
It's huge. It's crazy out there. But I
Heidi.
thought it was I thought the entire town. I thought when I was in the United States that literally I would get here and there would literally be somebody propositioning George and me inside of SM grocery store
No,
while we're getting
it's
fruit.
huge. It's a
That's
city.
what was being
It's
projected
two
by a lot
streets,
of
guys. Two
vloggers.
streets.
And George says, no, it's not like that.
Two
So
freaking streets, and they're short
it
streets.
is.
They're not even long streets.
So
They're very short streets.
very
And
narrow and short. It looks bigger
put it
on
this way:
camera.
if you're not going to Walking Street, you won't even know it exists. Put it that way. You'll
Mhm.
drive by Walking Street, literally drive by
You
it.
won't see it.
You won't
Especially
even
if you guys
see it.
haven't left the US. So
You'll only see it if you're looking for it.
yeah.
No, and again, sorry, LG. Um,
Oh, thank you, HR consultant.
no, I disagree. I don't think he's an egomaniac, no, or egomanic. Now, he does have a very high statue of himself, yes.
According to her, yes. And there's
Yes,
been a lot of comments left too
yeah.
about his work ethic, that it's good, but they're saying that some of the stuff that has been put out there is real. So
And
some people, we had a few come into our comment section recently and says, I can confirm that. What is
well,
it? They said they lived there by him and that it's confirmed,
all right, and the
but it could just be a troll.
the ones from his own words again that I base this on is, according to him again, is he built his channel from 35,000 to 175,000
Based on his skills.
based on his skills. Which again, that's something like, dude, you're not alone. You see that woman right next to you? She has a lot to do with it. You know that woman next to you, Donna? She did all the filmography, editing, and all that. You know how I know? Because she has her own channel, and it's the exact same editing, same exact filmography, same camera angles and everything, and switching. Um,
Oh, that's right. Technically, it's not covering you; it was covering me. So
yeah. None of my subscribed channels are showing me. Yeah, they're YouTube is doing some weird stuff.
Yeah,
And
I didn't think it was StreamYard. That's why we restarted the live. So
okay, even women are inferior. Now that's a different story, and that's a different
right,
live entirely.
you know, I mean, I see some good comments in there. I'm just curious what people really think about these other channels throwing serious shade. And we're talking about shade. We're not talking about like where we're covering and had him on here and there was that beef or whatever, because he wasn't throwing that shade when the guy was on here. The others weren't. And I'm like, after I seen some of the other channels covering this, I'm like, why won't he go after some other channels that are doing the exact same thing? So why are you skipping around and just grabbing the one guy? Why? Because I mean, quote unquote, your hand fits around his neck. How about you put your hand around somebody else's neck?
now,
Literal terms, but you won't.
you
I
know,
cannot see you facing Tom LeChon. Go down there and pull that crap with him, and
okay, see, that's what I mean.
don't go off and say, "Oh, well, I don't see him with young girls." You
That's what I'm getting
evidently
at.
haven't watched his stuff.
That's what I'm getting at. Now it's different if you go over to Tom Show and confront the guy. For example, Sig Grandpa. Okay, Sig Grandpa went over there and brain dusted this dude. Okay,
That was hilarious.
he just went on during the dude's
the
live.
live.
During the dude's live, he just walked up and just brain dusted the dude. And I'm like,
Well, here's the thing. Some people are going to be about it and talk about it. And you could talk about my size and put it on screen and do all your stuff, but you're never, ever going to get in
and
my face
Grandpa,
and
if
say
you're
nothing.
watching again, that sums up for you.
Right?
Again,
You dusted his bunny on the
yeah,
spot.
and you
usually
just
I
brain
don't
dusted him.
condone super violence
Now we're
like
not.
that.
Yeah, we don't
but
condone violence, but the point is, he did something. He actually said, it's not somebody just. Oh
He
yeah,
didn't gouge
when I
somebody's
see that
eyes
guy,
out.
I'm gonna hit him upside
He
the head.
literally dusted the
No,
top of his
he
head.
did
That
it.
was
You know what I'm saying?
hilarious.
There's a difference between all talk.
And Sick Grandpa
And
throws out the truth about a bunch of people. Now, does he make some stuff up? It's possible, but he's hilarious to watch because he just goes on and on. But it's like he's a equal opportunist offender on a bunch of people. But it
right,
seems like
right.
they're just stuck on regular guy. And no, I don't like that. About the Muslim girl. No, I don't think it's right for the large age gap and that he's actually focusing in on a certain age. And you definitely don't focus in on the rest of, like the help and all of that. And Mike went through all that with him. Does he have issues? Yes. Then you take that up individually with yourself and then go report him. And that would be it. Or you should have said more when you was on the live stream, or others should have said more when he was actually on here. Not going to get a second chance on that. That is for sure.
Right. Illuminar says Mark Twain's face is frozen. It must be Botox.
Right.
Yeah.
Those services are really, really expensive. I just want to mention that they've been running through our Facebook ads, like they put ads on some of the stuff. And it's actually about $100 for a treatment. If you think about it, 5,000 to 7,000 pesos, that's somebody's rent.
Right.
Yeah. So crazy.
John Ryder says Richard did everything legal in the Philippines. I wouldn't say that.
Maybe we don't 100%
Right. That's what I was saying.
have
We
every
don't
fact.
know if he did things illegal.
I
No,
mean, do
we
you
really don't.
have okay? So my question is do you have an insider knowing
Now,
that he's already switched his visa over when he continued to build the house?
right now, did he do
'Cause
things wrong in the Philippines? That one I would agree with, but I wouldn't say he did
if
things
he got the
illegal
proper
because
visas, then he has nothing to worry
right.
about.
We don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
it's for all we know. He did get these employees. Their puggy big fun. He did get them Phil Health. We don't know.
He registered his YouTube channel
Correct.
under his name
Registered
and
the
got a TIN
business. Every
number,
employee is
paid the
registered as an
taxes
employee.
here
Pay the
on
taxes
the
on each
YouTube.
single
So there's a lot
employee.
of different
We
things.
don't know.
Nope, don't know. That's what I actually see right now.
John Wheeler says regular guy is crap and mess with underage. Allegedly.
I'd like to see the receipts. They look young, the ones he's talking to, but do we have proof that he actually
Allegedly. Now again,
banged them and did all the stuff that's being alleged? I mean, do you guys realize how many are actually in their mid 20s and they look like they're 12 to me? The Asian women look really,
no,
really
they
young.
do. And like again, even me as a Filipino, I usually could identify, but
All the
nowadays
wrongs that are being done
it's
here in the
I would say
Philippines,
it's
and
backwards.
I mean, we're talking really young. I mean, really, really young. 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds being put on camera, forced to work, all these black market sites and the kids, without food and the starvation and all the things that are going on in this country. And then the major focus is regular guy right now.
Yeah. Well, like I
That's
said,
what's
I think it's backwards. Like in the West, younger girls are looking older. To me, here in the Philippines, the girls are starting to look younger
I
and
say prove
younger.
it.
And again, I've seen young girls. I put air quotes because
And a
they
16
look
and
young to me,
17
but
year old isn't going to
they're over
convince me
18. They're
either.
19, 20, 21, 22, 20. And I'm like, wow.
Yep. It's
It's
going
it's
on
the
in the
food. I
West,
think it's the
guys.
food, to
It's
be
going
honest with
on in
you.
the West. There are 16 and 17-year-olds, and all of these things are going on in the US
Yeah.
constantly.
Now Steve says Scotty Boy needs to visit the Sulu archipelago.
That would be interesting.
Well, okay. The Sulu Archipelago again. There's no travel red alert for Americans. Yes, I'm not quite sure if there's a red alert for other Western countries, but in America, technically, Americans are not recommended to go there. Are there Westerners or Americans there? Yes. Are they, for the most part, okay? Yeah. Now that being said, there are certain areas in that Sulu archipelago that you might be in danger. So it doesn't mean it's a red zone. It's completely, you land there and you're like, it doesn't work that way. It's kind of
I think
like,
he's just talking about visiting there. I don't think that has.
well, no, that's what I was getting at. Is the Sulu archipelago, that area? If you kind of disrespect or mess with somebody the wrong way, Sangano says, like I said last time, I never watched Regular Guy, but if he's being creepy, he's
I
on
mean,
big time notice. I also think that the momentum against him is a big wacko stalker. Report it to the Bureau of Immigration and NBI do a quote. Now, yes, there's somehow, for some strange reason, a momentum against Regular Guy.
it is
And again,
him. It is.
okay. So again, now is it founded? Is it just we? Personally, I don't know because again, I don't watch him enough, and even so, there's a lot of things, threats and stuff like that that I think are, yeah, that are what I'm saying is, okay, if let's go to somebody who doesn't exist anymore. Let's say Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, that kind of went dark.
Well, that's what I mean. Let's go to the extreme of Jeffrey Dahmer. Would you go after his family? No, right? That's my point. You leave the family alone because odds are they don't condone nor do they support that type of behavior. Point being, you leave the freaking family alone.
That I will
What the frick
stand
is
by.
wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Because
Call to
honestly,
action against the
if
family.
there's a bad sheep in the family, keyword bad sheep, odds are the whole flock don't want nothing to do with that black sheep. By
Yeah.
nature, by nature. So you leave the whole flock alone. You know what I'm saying? You don't eradicate the whole flock because of one sheep, or you don't throw away the whole bushel of apples because of one bad apple. That's not how it works, even in real life. And that's what I disagree upon. I'm not saying he is a bad guy.
It
I'm
just shows
saying
it's the weakest of the weak out there right now. So you pick on old parents and you pick on disabled,
right, and
overweight people,
that's
and
right. It's just
all this stuff. It just there's a difference between trolling and being a loud keyboard warrior on different channels. And we're saying multiple channels, just not one. And then you can kind of tell where the chips lie when you actually it doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
And there's too much unsubstantiated footage no matter which way you put it, unless you actually have like some serious receipts. And then if you do, go turn them in. If that's it, I'm not going to sit through all that crap time and time and time again. And we can only go by what we have. At that point, then that's what I would do. If I had all those receipts, you're putting it on there for numbers and to build extra drama because it seems like you have a beef with those people. It's just insane.
And legality wise, what's legal is legal. What's illegal is illegal. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what your opinion is.
In the end, it'll be what the Philippines does.
Correct. Chibi Whisk says, wasn't regular guy me email? Yes, but he's on the move, and it's not exactly like, you know.
Well, the reason they're asking, 1 second. Hold on, guys. One. No,
So
I got. So yes, he did, and he wasn't telling us about it. He just wanted to be on the live stream. So nobody was running to anybody because I've heard it multiple times. Regular guy wanted to confront him. Has nothing to do with him doing anything. He came to our channel and he appeared on the channel. And what happened when he got on the channel? He said his piece. Nobody said nothing there. Where was all the keyboard warriors and the people speaking up on him then? No. Instead, it is what it is on that. It just doesn't. I mean,
yeah, MF says if regular gets deported, I'm leaving the Philippines. Well, I wouldn't
there
go
it is.
that far. But I don't think he will.
You guys, I mean, these guys need to start at the bottom of the barrel. None of this running your channel, disappearing for months or covering other things and then coming back around and all of that. I haven't seen anything out of all that talk, out of all the channels. I've yet to see real action. The most recent action that I've seen is when they deported the guy we said that lives in this area. And even then, they didn't take him down for that. Everybody swore they reported him. And we had some back in the US that said they reported him. They took him down for violations of his immigration because he had not paid, which I know they got to chip at it somewhere. But if they had all the solid proof and they put people on it, then, if they had solid proof on regular guy, they would arrest him for it direct, just not deport him. So it'd be very interesting to see how this goes down. But in a case like that, I think the multiple channels still need to worry regardless if they think they can be found or who they can do or what they can do or how they can fight or attack or go after his family. It could turn ugly in the end. I'm just talking the truth. I mean, regular guy still has options too. They have options. Let's see who makes their move. Checkmate.
Bruce Davis. Okay, now for example,
Checkmate.
Bruce Davis says, "No, I'm not a supporter of regular guy. He's actually acting very dusting. You disrespected the Filipinos." Yes, I again. Here's
The zooming in is
Bruce.
rude, most
Right, but what I'm
definitely.
saying is, here's Bruce Davis
There's
again,
like
who's not a
60
supporter of
other
regular
people
guy,
doing it.
but I highly doubt Bruce Davis is going to go after his mom. You know what I'm
That was
saying?
still rude.
Correct.
And evidently he thought different because that person also removed it based on that. And now they're saying, yeah, yeah, right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, right. And I'm just like, but you made your action and you removed it. So evidently you thought about it. So So evidently, call it tough guy talk. There's a lot of things to come down on hard here in the Philippines, and
Oh, I think he's talking about the thumbnail.
mhm.
This one.
I think he's talking about, is that what that's supposed to be? It doesn't look like him. I think he's talking about during the live stream. Maybe his,
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm not sure.
MF says regular guy has a good heart.
I haven't really set through. All I know is based on what I'm saying, I've seen bits of the so
Right.
yeah, so that's probably what he's talking about, the freezing.
All right.
So
So be aware again that some certain people's actions may be misinterpreted. Just saying.
mhm.
Um, James Miller says he sounds like a lot more than a regular guy. Well, he is. It's kind of ironic, yes, that his name's regular guy. Yes, he's
Mhm.
extraordinary. Bruce Davis says regular guy is acting like a, and he's going to slums disrespecting Filipino girls. Now, keep in mind there are worse vloggers that do worse.
Yeah,
There
that's
are
what
worse
we're saying
vloggers
is
that
why stop at
go
one,
to the
two.
slums and actually. Yeah. LG says a lot of videos making the case of him as a pedo. Now, if they do eventually, if they do get a hold of him and charge him for that,
Well, here's the thing. Instead of gathering this, because think about this. Some live streams have been delayed by 4 or 5 days. Why haven't they gone down there and done anything? If it is such an important case and you're so much for the Republic and for the women and you're standing up and you're the stand up type of guy, why'd you wait 4 or 5 days to put a live stream on and been gathering stuff for the last couple of weeks? What, to make sure you have your case? You had your case a while back. Why didn't you go turn it all in? Have you done that yet? I mean, I get it, but again, there's way worse scum in this town, YouTubers and otherwise. That would be like, he's like a birthday candle on a cake that isn't even lit compared to some of these guys and scum down here. This whole country is full of scumbags, and it's a regular guy would be like romper room compared to I I think everything that people are saying about the jealousy and that he rose to this and he did this and he did that and that he's living his best life out there and all this jealousy stuff rolling up, who knows?
yeah.
But why hasn't something been done by these multiple vloggers and all these people that talk the good talk? So when we found out about that guy, it didn't take long. We confronted him and we took the information and we said we turned him in. We went down there physically and did
And
that when we
reported
found
him
out.
because there
Correct.
are now on that one we're talking about Randy Wilson, who's already probably gone by now. We did again physically go and report him, yes, but that's
So,
only
I mean, that's
because
just my question. Do you guys think about when you set up in these multiple rooms? And I have to say multiple rooms because we're not specifically talking about one. If the shoe fits, then wear it. What
right,
we're
and keep
talking
in mind
about
we were
today.
not alone filing the reports. There's been some viewers that
So
did fly
why?
over here and
And
report
if
this
they say
guy.
they have, then that's fine
Right, we
too.
had the neighbors come over and file cases against Randy Wilson.
Gathering
Yeah,
information,
and
huh?
unlike this other guy who was this particular YouTuber, like, oh, I did it myself and pat myself in the
In the
back.
United
I got him.
States, yeah.
No, dude, you weren't here. You weren't here with us, with everybody else, filing a physical complaint. And just so you guys
Email
know,
does
you
not work.
can't make a phone call from the U.S. and have somebody locked up. It doesn't work that way.
Nope. You got to make a physical appearance,
You
and I
have to
don't
make a
think half
physical
these
appearance.
guys are going to do that.
I did it myself. I'm a big YouTuber.
He
Yeah,
did in
good
the
job.
U.S.
Good job, guy. It doesn't work that way. Tells you how much you know about the Philippines. But anyway,
Another Asian guy.
but hey, Bruce Thompson, thanks so much from New Zealand. Bruce Thompson from
Hey,
New Zealand.
Bruce.
He says simping and
Thank
simping
you.
along. Thank you so much, Bruce. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Filipina Unfiltered.
Good
Thank you. Appreciate
morning.
you very much. Thank you for your support. Hey, Scott. How you doing, man?
I
Scott.
mean, here's the thing. We know
Thank
that
you, Scott.
these
Appreciate it,
type
man.
of channels exist. And we're not talking about like our channel. We're talking about like serious channels that just sit around, okay, and just what's happening. Do you really think that's helping right now? I challenge everybody to think about that. Okay, so even if we have all the proof, I mean, serious stuff. 8-year-olds being put on the black market, being sold, being this, working houses, and child labor and starvation, and animals being maimed and all this on purpose. And that is their problem right now as regular guy.
Right.
That is just a harsh truth, guys. So I mean, really, I mean, I don't think that may sound cocky, but I think it's the harsh truth. And if that's their focus, then that means they have, and you guys would have a problem with regular guy direct. There's some other focus on them. If it is, I get what's being put out there. How come it hasn't been reported?
And to make things somewhat more difficult, again, not picking on anybody, not really taking anybody's side.
And this is supposed to be about Armstrong today, but we started the
Yeah,
second
if
one up, and we're
regular
like, why don't
guy
we
is on the
discuss how he
move
can be
and
deported?
he's constantly on the move. Again, it's not because he's running, it's just because it's the way he's doing this travel vlog mode right now. And again, I commend him for it because again, he's taking life by the balls. For example, Colt 45 says, sorry, say he's based out of Cebu City, Philippines. Regular guy. Right now, from last I've heard, he's in Mindanao. So
He uploaded.
yeah,
Look
he
at you.
he
Hey,
lives
babe.
off his backpack. That's why he wears relatively the same clothes every other vlog. Because again, he only has a backpack, and that's what he has. So I'm pretty
I
sure
think he's on
he
the road
washes his
permanently now.
one pair of clothes, dries them out while he wears the other, and vice versa. He lives off his backpack right now, and again, he's on the move. Which is more than most people
Hey,
can ever do.
AJ.
If that makes any sense. Again, MF says I love the regular guy. Chris Taylor says there are plenty of foreigners with ladies over 50. Good to hear that.
I mean, honestly, me and George discussed this even as of this morning. There are some people we just would never meet with. There are people that we do meet with. And honestly, if he came to town and still wanted to meet, I don't think it's going to go off again.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Anyway,
It's in and out on
Maureen
internet.
Christiansen says they're not 18, no way at all. Well, it depends on which one you're referring to. Again, it's if they're students, then depending on where the school is, but
And can you actually say they are?
right.
That's somebody telling you they don't look like it, and they're such professionals at age guessers.
Like I said, I've gone to
And if we're talking about any of them that have been shown here lately, what was he doing? Did he literally have his hand up their skirt right there on that, or was he just talking to them? No crime in that.
right.
No crime in.
Ryan Thompson touching minors on video is not cool.
Well, which one was he touching? Can you guys elaborate on that? Because again, I'm not going to sit through hours and tons of footage from specific vloggers. On his channel, there was one live stream where he had made some insinuations and discussed paying him, but he was on Walking Street. These guys all know that half of them down there are underage, but there they all are. They all participate. And you'd be surprised how many vloggers we've seen participating. Does everybody report them? The answer is no. So my question would be is who was he touching physically and in that naughty way that actually got him in trouble? And sleeping with the hired help, is it wrong if they're over age and they're willing to do it and they're of age, it's not what do they call that? It's not professional. But if she's 18 and she agrees to do it
It's
regardless,
not professional on their part.
well, either side, you shouldn't hire somebody in. It's not proper and all that, but it's still not a crime. That's been mentioned here lately also. That he hires in and specifically dates them at 18 just to
You know,
he can't be deported for that.
no, it's as long as they're willing. Right?
Yep.
They're willing
So
participants. Mike Dowdy says magical.
creepy. I'll say it's creepy, but I would have to see some serious ID. But feel free, guys, to report it. Physically go down there and report it. So that's what I
Yeah,
say.
and it doesn't. That's another thing. It's not like the U.S. where you just make a phone call. That's not how it works. I don't care what any YouTuber tells you. It doesn't work that way here. In fact, you have to actually go all the way to where he's at in that location to make that report.
I believe somebody here in Angel City can drop something off. I don't think they have to find what
Well, it
city he's in
depends on the crime and depends on the evidence.
and the
Mainly the
accusation.
evidence, which means odds are nobody has any evidence.
Hmm.
Now,
Make a live
again,
stream about
regardless of
that.
who it is, I would say the same thing. I'm neither condemning nor supporting regular guy. What I'm saying is, you know, you have to have some solid proof. You can't just make baseless accusations. Mike Dowdy says that Magical Elgin needs an Emmy for Best Actress for her last interview with Mark. Exactly, Dowd. She's a great actress.
Get you. Hey, Hector.
Wow, they made a subreddit about regular guy. Hector
I believe
Gubat
it.
says saw a post in Philippines subreddit talking about regular guy. There, they veiled threats on him if they see him on the streets in Metro Manila. Well,
My guess it's the same group of 10, 15 guys and everybody they rally up in that circle to get him. And that is inciting violence. 100%. I
Now-
wouldn't get involved. I mean, do you guys really want to come here to retire? Because a lot of you guys are either here or thinking about coming here, would want to get involved. Like, it's like child's play compared to us talking about so and so got a divorce, attention, and putting small business out there. But to actually go through all of that with the stuff that's actually being put out there, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't think they're going to do anything.
okay,
I call
now, in all
pansies.
fairness,
Go
for
on,
those of
pansy.
you who know what's going on and who know these guys are, okay, for those of you who know who we're talking about or whatever, because there's a particular group. Now, I'm going to tell you
Never gonna
something.
happen.
If you guys actually know these guys and actually somewhat, I know it's virtual world, meaning you guys don't actually physically hang out with them. But what I'm saying is, keep in mind that the mentality of witch hunters, okay, we call them witch hunters. The reason why you call them witch hunters is because the problem with witch hunting, you always find a witch. And what I'm saying is, what a lot of people don't realize that witch hunters in general, that type of personality profile, can and will turn on you on a heartbeat just because they feel like it. Nothing stops these type of people to point the finger at you. Which.
Yeah, I understand if you're in that crowd with them and you're pointing with them, it can also turn on you.
They can turn on you in a
Happens
heartbeat
all the
because
time.
it's a personality profile. It's a personality trait.
Over
Again,
men.
I'm just saying, if you guys hang out with these type of particular people, even in virtual world, I don't recommend it. They will turn on you. Just saying. Professor, I think you two are creating a lynch. Oh, really? I just said no, and here you are saying we're creating a lynch mob, right? Okay. You two are talking about things that you have no God help. Okay.
Well, we know who you
So here we are actually saying that, wow, That
No proof of. Yeah, he's part
now,
of that group. I wouldn't
yeah,
even
you're
address
probably one of those guys, and here
We're
because
kind of the pro opposite,
you're
saying the
actually
other
going against
channels.
with what we're saying.
We're saying until you guys have the proof, don't get
Correct. We just
involved.
said don't get involved unless
What
you have
kind of lynch
definitive
mob are you
proof.
talking about? You're
And
on the
here
wrong
you are.
channel.
Correct. I just said personally,
Stay out of it.
stay out of it. Don't go with these
Grow
witch
up, guys.
hunters.
We get content, and
I
that's
mean,
all it is a bunch of
and
tough
this
talk on
type of
channels.
person is the one that's going to turn on you.
Well, he's with the other group, I'm sure.
Correct.
I mean, the fact, unless they're talking about Armstrong and his possible visa issues, but that's not exactly in there.
Okay,
so.
now see that's what I mean. We're actually against this type of behavior. It's never our business unless I see it and directly affects me. Why spread more rumors?
Unless you guys have physically seen it, and if stuff has passed and you're only looking at it through a video 100%.
MF says, I'm 50. I'm 52. I think that's what he's meant.
And my baby
And my baby
ring
is 18. There you go.
That makes her legal.
John Ryder says correct. Legal age is 18. Steve says Richard Armstrong married a middle-aged woman because he was a simp and got taken to the bank. Wow. Manny C says, personally, I will not date under 30. I don't want to raise another kid. No, definitely. No, no. Illuminar says, regular guy, young nanny hunter.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Alva
but
Thompson, the moral police. Big Papa Travels. What's up, babe, Rooney?
What is going on? Yeah, I don't see anything right off the bat about the subreddit. I'm sure it's there, but
well, that's not too much. That's somewhat. Was 27 when she met him, and he was 37. So yeah, it's a 10-year age gap. Yeah. LG says a pedo is someone inappropriately touching or
okay.
assaulting
So
minors.
further down, Big Papa says that, but you are talking about it, which is exciting them to go after him.
Inciting?
No. I don't know if you're talking about the other group. That's not true.
Huh?
That's Big Papa further down at the bottom.
We're not inciting it. We're actually saying
Because we're repeating it. He said because we're talking about it, it's inciting it to go after. Okay, so everybody we talk about that has issues going on, it's inciting our people the way the other channels just did a little bit ago. And that wasn't direct threats.
Which part of one, again, that we say don't join the witch hunter crowd?
Did you guys miss?
Which part of one?
I mean, if anything, I'm waiting for you guys to spout out that we're on the side of the pedo right now. I mean, which way do you guys want to swing?
Because people will twist your words.
I really don't care. They're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to threaten their threats. They've been threatening and saying things and calling people names and wait and what?
Big Papa, really?
Right. Well, is there any surprise? The same with Big Dave. Any surprise on any of our people that watch us? They watch multiple channels. They have the right to say things.
Obviously, Big Papa, I'm calling you out directly. Obviously, Big Papa, you don't know what we're talking about. Because there is a movement and you have no clue what kind of threats are being thrown at. We're inciting? Are you kidding me right now? We're not.
I believe he was in that room.
Oh, so if Big Papa was in that room, then obviously you're for you attacking regular guy. Because that room was a very aggressive room. We're talking about a room that, again, that promotes violence against innocents. Not regular guy, innocents. And when you're like, what are you talking about? You don't attack family members because you don't like a particular guy. Again, like I said, odds are, I'm not saying regular guy is a bad guy, but what I'm saying is, if there's a bad guy, again, let's say Jeffrey Dahmer, again, I know he's gone. That's why I use him as an example, and he's a very bad guy. You don't attack his family because of him.
We're gonna
Obviously,
stick to
Big
that.
Papa, you belong in that crowd because you were in there, and also you're calling us out that we're inciting violence. No,
Unless
Big
you're
Papa,
talking to somebody else in the room.
that
I'm just reading
that crowd
your.
is inciting violence against innocents, and we're against that. We actually just said it several times. So anyway, John Wheeler, Manny, I'm with you. I'm 47. I won't go under 30.
No, everybody has their point. I'm calling out everybody that there's all kinds of levels of channels that cover gossip and dramatic stuff and all of that. It seems to be a hot topic. Those two had a chance earlier. So does his little friends, and I'll trust that he does the right thing, is what was said by another vlogger. Then why hasn't something been done already? Do you guys think about that? That's not inciting things. That's being truthful. If you guys think there's something wrong, where is that inciting somebody to go report something or not to report something or get off your ass and do something or
Keyword
not to do
report.
it?
We didn't
And this is
say
a total
do
topic of
something violent. There's a
conversation.
difference between what they're talking about versus we're saying if you feel like there's something wrong, file a report.
Yeah.
Big difference. Filing a report is not violent by any means. MF says if a girl's an adult, doesn't matter the age crap. Correct. Peach Pepper. Hey, Peach Pepper, how you doing?
Now, some of the things we feel might be illegal, okay, again, we're not the police, we're not attorneys, we're not whatever, is there are laws that apply to all of these vloggers right now. We see all kinds of bad behavior out there, okay? But where those laws apply, let the law deal with it.
Well,
All these, I'm going to turn you in and I'm going to do this and I'm going this and that and all the talking, oh, I'm going to blah blah blah, all this stuff. Okay, but nobody's about it and everything.
well, for example, Big Papa Travels again, like you said. Why not go after real pedos instead of trying to make one? Keyword: make one out of just a regular guy.
Now, if we
Again,
misunderstood you at any point, Big Papa, that you were saying something to somebody else, because we have had that where people were
wait, that's
going
Big Papa.
right. I'm just saying, but that was early on, babe. That was 40
Okay.
minutes ago. So I'm just making sure in case something, I have to mention that because before people come back and said, oh, I didn't mean that towards you guys, but it's the way it's worded.
Okay. Well, either way, again, the problem with witch hunting again, you will always find a witch. What I'm saying is,
I mean, if there's someone
if
else in there inciting
if
stuff.
you're trying to look for a problem, you'll always find a problem.
Mhm. And we're well aware of what happened in that other room, and our other people that have been in our room said some things. And by no means are we going to block you until you come into our room and say those things directly to us or rude to other people. So we are aware of conversations in these other live streams. Okay. They come up because we're subscribed, which we aren't anymore. And I would X-nay anything on that. No, it could be, but we just don't want the. But that's fine because that means you have to face me. And I doubt anybody would face George or face me and actually say anything that was said. Neither would that person or the next person or. Not a problem. It is all about conversation. It really is. I'll just go further down. Yeah, Richard Semming said Greg and Wilma from Building the PH is talking about you guys in their last video. We don't know who they are, so.
Oh wait, regular guy?
That's
Oh no, that's
irregular
irregular
guy.
guy.
They're
No,
using
that's
his
irregular
thumbnail.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't know.
that's not regular guy. It's a regular guy. Yeah, regular guy's been with us before, and like
There's
I
a
said,
lot of channels that talk about us, and I'm sure a lot more will talk about us after this. Welcome to the game. You know,
go to slums. It's right.
good for them.
I wonder
Actually,
if Tondo has a crew just waiting for vloggers to go most dangerous place.
right?
Just well,
I think they may have
It's
said to milk them.
it's relatively unsafe. Relatively unsafe. Not all of Tondo is unsafe. But I can't speak for only myself, but he makes these choices, so there's consequences.
Well, if there's solid proof and everybody's sure of it, I encourage as much as to go into the office and report. I mean, we're not saying that it shouldn't be done, but I'm not going to spend all day watching videos when I haven't. If I physically see it on the street, that's a big difference. If it's in front of me and somebody's needing help on the spot, that's where I'm going to get involved. I'm not going to watch a channel on top of a channel on top of a channel of unsure information and what you're being told. I mean, nobody's holding up an ID. And I mean, I get it. It's really a good presentation on different channels of what's going on with other vloggers. And we're not just talking about one that's being accused. There's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
So
Armstrong
if it
says
is,
regular guy can't possibly be guilty of any of this. His whole shtick is he can't get any girl in any of his vids.
hmm,
That's an interesting outlook. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
maybe. I mean, it's kind of curious for me to rewatch or to go look at his stuff, but to me, it's kind of beyond that.
To clarify for Samson, no, he's not being charged for anything. What is regular being charged for? He's not being charged for anything.
Yeah.
Although he's being condemned by a certain
Like I said, I
group.
will mention things are a lot tougher here than just that. Because let's be honest, what's the most? I want you guys to comment. What's the most thing you think he's guilty of right now? What's the age of the girl and what's his crime right now? This is a topic of conversation. What's his crime right now? Are we talking that he propositioned a girl on Walking Street that was working, that was already down there? Was he supposed to check her ID? Was he supposed to check the ID of who allegedly he touched? How old is the girl? Yeah, the internet's cutting in.
Oh crap! Mike Dowdy called it. All right, Mike
I
Dowdy.
called an official and I got everything
I got the
handled.
guy. I got the guy. I called it. I
You
called
guys notice
somebody.
that dude's like 3 weeks behind on
Doesn't work
everything.
that way.
Anytime
It
something
doesn't
comes
work
out,
that way.
he's days behind on whatever. And then he was selling something.
Days. We're talking about weeks behind. He's always weeks behind.
He was just selling a painting the other day on air. He said it was for rent money or something else. It was kind of, it was out there.
Yeah, be nice to butlers.
No, that's true.
Bisankano says that's what I mean. Is a bit too much. It almost feels like hate against regular guy has a bit of projection to it. So yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of like it's displaced anger. It's kind of like it's like frustration vented on somebody who doesn't deserve it.
And evidently, there's some frustration because on multiple channels, I'll mention this. You guys are going to talk about how we're poor and how I'm big and my size and how I can't this and that. And that's all you guys got. That's all you got is my size and that we're poor. One, I said I was a big girl. Two, I know I'm poor. What difference? I mean, what does any of that got to do with anything? Y'all ain't got nothing. And that's what you're mad about. You guys, not you specific, I'm talking about to the whole group of YouTube and the trolls out there and others. That's all you got is I'm big. You want to talk about my disability and how I'm in a wheelchair, how I have cancer and all these other things, and you want to pick on me because you think I'm being mean to George, or you guys talk about how petite or dainty George is. That's all you guys got, okay? But when the time comes for it, you guys don't go after the right people. You follow the wrong people, and there's 100 different bad things going, or thousands of bad things going on out there, and that's it. Just shows. I mean, some of it's hilarious sometimes. Some of the parodies on channels, and everybody gets a good laugh. But when it comes down to it, what horse are you backing at this point? Is it about that? Is this high school all over again? Who's sitting at whose table? Who's doing what? Who we're going after? The king says hey, go after this guy. It's just, it doesn't make any sense for grown ass men in this country to act like this. It really doesn't. It just takes a whole lot of whatever. And I'm sure they're just sitting there all frustrated, like, oh, you're next. Okay. Don't care.
Hmm.
Me and George are going to keep doing us. We're going to keep loving each other. You can keep insinuating. You can keep talking, but picking on regular guy or picking on some of these other vloggers, you can tell that's what's going on. It's picking, not doing something about it. Okay. Is there like a cautionary tale or a teaching moment or something to report besides just picking? I mean, we joked about Mark Thornton's Beanie Babies, but we're not sitting there losing sleep overnight looking for stuff about them. And it's kind of weird. It is what it is. Either shit or get off the pot is what I say.
Right. No, I mean, actually, I was gonna say it's kind of high schoolish because again, it's one of those you have bullies in
To men
schoolyard, but they don't go after the real. They only go after people who
that are
are
weak
the
to pick
weak
on.
to pick on. Correct. They
It's
don't
a
go after
lion
the ones
going
that need to be
after
picked
the
on.
rabbit
The ones
versus going
correct.
after the bear. And it's funny, okay? Like I said, not one. They'll talk a good talk on the backside about half of them. But what happened when that bear came back after the rabbit before? And then what happened when some confronted each other recently? Nothing. Okay. And they're going to keep hating because we're putting it out there. And we're not going to be quiet about it. That is for sure. Definitely not afraid of somebody. Oh, I'm sure here in a week we'll hear, oh, we'll start with them next and we'll do this and that. Not worried. Not
Correct.
worried. You're just going to cause us to grow and we're going to keep doing us and we'll continue to have a life. So that's where it is. But I say bring the full proof and go ahead and do what people have to do. If there are people in this room that are watching him, like regular guy, and you think there's a problem, then why hasn't this has been what going on for 6, 7, 8 months? People have been talking about this. Okay. Again, not condoning any of the behavior. You guys aren't here to see the real shit. The next interview that we have is where shit's really going down with these bar girls. Starvation, living down by the river, all kinds of stuff. 2, 3 kids before, while they're actually bar girls and the life they go through and the hard times. And this is what you guys got is on other expats and their kids starving and it's just bad. It can be really, really rough here, and there are way worse characters, and then
There are
you're
way
going after
worse
a
vloggers
rabbit.
actually.
Way worse.
Let's stay in the realm of
And forget
vlogging.
if they're even
There
vlogging. Why
there
don't you
are
go
way
after the
worse
ones on the
vloggers.
street? And then funny that several of these guys that are running their mouths are down there on walking streets sometimes, actually up in that activity. And I often thought, are they really just posing because they claim they're trying to see what's going on? But how come you were in the thick of it before? I don't know. Is that not true that they were all down there at some point?
Oh yeah.
hmm Same ones. And especially the biggest one, previous bar girl or bar owner in the US of a strip club. And same one up in channels talking about stuff about their life and better than this and better than that. And then they're turning around talking about bar girls or talking about it's just crazy. You guys haven't the slightest idea of the real workings. And it's just crazy. You think about the whole thing. You heard it first on Pan Network.
Well, what Heidi is saying
I'm
is
saying bite me.
again, it there's a somewhat like a duality or duplicity, as it were, when it comes to vloggers, and
hmm
sometimes it bleeds out, it projects, sometimes it doesn't. Some are good at hiding it,
Yeah.
but some just blurt it out. But either
It's
way,
just sad that although we're doing the YouTube channel, we've done it for different reasons, okay? But others are just doing it just to be mean, cruel, or some just sit around. They've lost multiple channels. They restart new channels just to be trolls or make threats. But yet, I, you know, I can actually hear their voice right now. So, and
all right. Sangana says click the like button. Thank you so much. Travel Trend says as Philippine develops, hopefully most of the sick stuff stops. Yes, Brian, we did see the video of the porters here. Yes, shocking. Yes, those guys are done for sure.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, the Pertars here. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, David, you're talking about David. David, the Raw Fact Channel. Yes, we are in contact with him. We're in good standing with him. Yes,
Well, he
these.
hasn't put nothing out in a while.
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, his stuff was okay because he used to just talk a little bit about the things, but he wasn't like hardcore. That type of channel to me is not super hardcore, but you can tell the mentality, and mentality is linked to mental on some of the
Right.
channels. So yeah, he's just saying the other channels are jealous, and that's what they've told, and other people and their own subscribers have told them. But it's hard saying. I mean, and don't give me this 15, 16, and 17-year-olds are coming on to him. I'm sorry,
Hey, Joseph, how you doing?
it's not right, but I don't think the Philippines government is actually going to like halt their cars and go hunt people down based on that. We're talking hardcore stuff, really hardcore stuff.
John Wheeler says NCIB is watching, following, and filming them. Bisankono says my favorite line was Interpol.
Interpol, yeah,
I don't know. It was too creepy from both sides, if you ask me.
yeah,
Raw facts, great entertainment.
he is. Yeah, he'd stop doing his thing.
That says Joseph, I disagree. Had a girlfriend in Angeles. Huh.
I
Interesting.
kind of miss, yeah, what that other part was.
Actually, this is somewhat truth to this one. Hector Gubat says my theory is Bureau of Immigration focuses on Chinese nationals. On some senators or congressmen have stated their concerns with Chinese infiltration. There's the
There's some
there
truth in that.
yeah there that's why I said there's some truth in that.
I mean, we discuss real quick. We discuss about how, the reason we're talking about Armstrong and regular guy today is a topic of discussion again. Because we're saying it could happen. Okay. What could lead to this? What could lead to that? Could a bunch of guys go down there and report, and they might pay attention? Don't know. It might shake them at some office, depending on the office, to actually start an investigation. So it depends on how it actually goes. The same with Armstrong. Can somebody shake that tree and really push, even if he's got a new visa, and say, hey, look back 8 months? If it's his woman that does it, the answer is yes.
What
Anything's
the
a
heck?
possibility. But more than likely, that is what they're after, is some really hardcore guys, which will bring us back to what's his name? Yeah, they're having fun here. The cats are. Which will bring us back to World Zoom. Paul. A lot of people are like, oh, he didn't do nothing, and others say that he had new charges and went back and forth, and then it went into what he did. And if you really think about that whole thing, yeah, they just don't want that guy in here. I mean, although he's managed to get in a few times, think about it, 4.8 million. He eluded the US government, was on the FBI. How often does somebody make it to the FBI list? That was probably a disqualification right from the beginning if they ever looked into, they ran him, didn't catch him, ran him again because he renewed his visas for a while. They didn't catch him, but finally they caught him because he went in after a permanent, actual visa. Yeah, there's a big problem. They found his arrest in Thailand from, when this all went down. He stole a passport. The man's got like multiple strikes. Did he pay his dues? The answer is yes. But those are the type of people they're actually looking for. What's regular guy? I mean, does he have a total shady past? Has he been arrested for these things? Has he just been a school teacher that knows the difference of the age of the girls over there forever, not paying his taxes, and over here, like really gnawing down on the 18-year-olds and looking at a 16 and 17-year-old? That's going to be up to the Philippine government to take him down. That is for sure. But I think, like you were saying about the Chinese, that it's, you know, very falsely.
No, I'm
I
just
was
thinking
thinking,
of
yeah, you look.
how you
Go ahead.
say. I'm thinking of Hannibal when you say he's gnawing down
Oh,
on
gnawing
18.
down on the,
Yeah, I was like,
probably literally, but,
let's side of flava beans. But anyway,
and I
uh,
get people having kids, and if you guys have watched this for a long period of time, I talked about how when I was underage, 10 and 11, I was raped myself, and I'm going to say that word out loud. Okay, so if you want to show me that he's touching a 10-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, and that he's actually forcing everything on him, like literally on the ground, then that would be something that I would be like, what is going on? I haven't seen any of this. What is wrong with the cats? They're wound up. And I'm not saying that's the only reason not to. I'm saying that get here, live here a while, live amongst the people, and then you'll actually see what really life is like here in Asia. And somebody coming on to a 17-year-old when there's no proof that's who he's having a full relationship with out in public all the time. And then I would let the cops handle that. I'm not going to be the one that's going to come up and start problems with them. We're talking somebody that's been a victim of these things, that it's my kids were messed with when they were younger, and that's something you report. Okay, you report when a child is 10 and 11. You just have to know when to get involved and when not to. Right now I hear a lot of they look young and he's filming them, and a lot of, is it right or is it wrong, guys? What would you guys actually do?
Right. Bisankana says the anti-regular guy momentum is definitely being handled irresponsibly as well. In my opinion, it's really vindictive at an unhealthy level. Yes. Thank you so much, Bruce. Bruce from New Zealand says simping continues. Thanks, Bruce. I appreciate it, man.
Right.
Also, I appreciate you also, HRH Consultants and Tiny Homes. Thanks so much. Those are cute homes, actually. Guys, check them out.
Yeah, I was looking. We received something. If you can advise, if you're in the room, H and H RH, was you the one that sent us the email? So
MJ says regular guy focuses on travel. When it comes to the ladies, he shows all regardless of their appearance. Personally, I haven't seen what these people are talking about. He's consistent.
he's removed some live streams and he has said some creepy things. I get it. I do. Some of it seems really creepy.
Well,
and inappropriate by far.
In all fairness, if you have a camera on you, there are some things that sometimes that come out of your mouth and you're like, what the frick did I just say?
Right. Well, no, and there are some things. I'll admit there's some things I've seen flat out on his channel. And like somebody says, if you don't like what he's saying or it seems in that, then maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe that's whatever, and it's going around. I get it. I get it.
Well,
But
that's also
can we
again
say is that the
not
perspective each
picking on
person has?
MJ, not picking on you, MJ. I'm just saying
Pick on MJ.
MJ says personally, I haven't seen what these people are talking about. He's consistent. What I'm saying also, be aware that if you have an innocent mind, then you won't see anything wrong.
Well, like I said, the one thing comes to mind is that live stream that he removed, and he was propositioning girls to show body parts. Again, he had been drinking. He admitted to all that, and he is in an area where the girls are supposed to be of age. And yes, some of that was weird. Do we have full receipts that these girls were, besides what you think looks young, and that they weren't actually 18? They're supposed to be of working age in that area, but who knows?
Dang, Izzy and
Didn't
Chris.
look like a 9 or 10-year-old to me. Didn't look like an 8, 7, or 6-year-old.
Right, Izzy and Chris, you're downright straightforward. I like it. Izzy and Chris. Actually, we're gonna come up with a video or live. Izzy and Chris says Angeles city girls living in a van down by the river.
Well, here's the thing. Wouldn't that be creepy? I was just going to say we can go down and interview really young girls down by the river
Okay.
and ask them what they think of the expats, how many approach them, and I bet we get a whole lot. But wouldn't that be creepy? to
Now,
go down there
I get the reference.
Excuse me.
Izzy and Chris is talking about Chris Farley. I live in a van down by the river. I get it. I get the reference, but they're lucky if they have a van to live in. Yes, but no,
really,
I get the reference. But yeah,
Yeah, Banana Man. They're trying to build there's like a building, they're trying to build a bigger one, and they're taking the like super sick of the kids and mothers that really need help. I mean, and we're talking about things get so bad for those women and kids down there that are homeless that, like I said, they don't take baths for 2, 3 months at a time. They can't even afford the soap. And like right now, the riverbed is all dried out. So where are they going to go take a shower? So it's crazy, guys.
Oh no, no, this is true
The
because again,
bugs are so
there
bad in
is
their
no.
hair, and
Well,
they
there's
got
electricity. It's stolen electricity, but the
that's what
water
down
is
there.
mainly on the riverbed. That's Heidi's saying. But right now there's no
I know.
rain, so
What?
there there's water, but no, not really. Um,
Yeah.
Paul K says everyone has to be themselves, and your integrity and character is based on your actions and lifestyle. I'm glad my Filipina girlfriend is 40 years old. I'm 61, and I want someone I can relate to, not Poochie. Right? No, again,
Which it's for some and others.
see,
Like Paul just interviewed that guy, and I see where he's blaming the West for things, and he went through in the interview, and we'll probably cover a reaction to that during a live stream. But here's a guy that totally turned himself around, and but here's the thing: the guy's like 64, somewhere between 64 and 68. He just married or is with or just married a 22 or 23-year old. It's not for everybody. It just isn't. Some guys would, the guy's probably got multiple grandchildren and some probably her age. But if they're in love and things are working
if
out,
as
I
long as
get
it's
it.
legitimate, it's fine.
So, I mean, people are always going to talk. I mean, what if regular guy, as an example, just all of a sudden marries an 18-year-old? I mean, is the world going to freak out? Then all kinds of things. Who knows? Matter of fact, there's rumors, and these are rumors. They say he's actually married. There's all kinds of stuff that I just seen on the net. Regular guy's wife in the Philippines. I'm like, where did that come from? Regular guy, if you're out there, you're more than welcome to come on down. Oh, I haven't even put a link up there today. Should
Yeah.
I put a link in, or are we just going to go through this? Yeah, we'll just go through
Sarah
that.
says if you're part of a group that's conspiring to commit harm to another human, harm comes to that person. You can be charged. Yes. Tarzan says parasites attack the weak and vulnerable.
Yeah, I get it.
No, John Ryder says I tried walking street hard enough for 5 years. 3 days was way enough. No, again, the it wears off fast. Like
Hmm.
it wears off fast.
It
Exactly.
does. Yeah.
It's only a couple streets. Oh, Dr. Gubat says it's 57 pesos to $1 today. Okay.
What's up?
Now, okay. Chris Taylor says I don't think Armstrong will be deported unless he's pissed off the Philippine immigration officer from his arrogant know-all nature. I don't think. Well, unless he makes a big fuss and does something somewhat off, probably not. And I don't think Donna is that kind of vindictive person that she would go to immigration office and like, you know, cause a ruckus. I don't think she's that kind of person. So in all honesty, I don't think he will. However, the legality is different. What I'm saying is right now he has to secure somehow a way to work legally in the Philippines.
I see Philippine expose you coming on the channel and advising about your uploads, which first off is wrong to come on other channels and mention live streams
There
for
is
your own
a YouTube
upload.
etiquette. You don't go on
But
other channels
in
to
saying
promote
that,
yourself.
I'm going to allow, and it's our channel. You're just uploading what everybody else has. That live stream where he's offering something, and he's got where it's cheap and creepy. Propositioning a streetwalker for money. I mean, nothing new down there. That is for sure. I see where you cover other things like people picking on a sick elderly vlogger. Now, in the other defenses, when that was all going down, there was no proof. I mean, the girl does look 10 or 11 years old. That I get. But they did prove her age. They're talking about Uncle Jesse. The Uncle Jesse thing is further
Huh.
down on his. But now she does look like, I mean, there's no doubt, size, looks, and everything. He said she had a medical condition. I believed her. We were never like, hey, provide the proof and all of that. So I could see that. But these other girls to me look of age, not the ones that are being zoomed in on. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to deny the man doesn't seem creepy, but I'm not going to take a trip down and waste my day down to immigration to report that type of stuff. I mean, you might as well like get 4 or 5 pens and a bunch of pads of paper to start reporting people that act like that. It's just kind of weird. It'd be like going through Vegas and trying to hunt people down for stuff. Could you imagine that? Think about Vegas. Let's not even get into that.
I mean, they're
it
yeah,
it
right.
is
That's
what it
different story
is.
entirely. AJ Hap, thank you for blowing my mind. Jollibee owns a lot of businesses under the B umbrella. In fact, one of these is actually one of our personal favorites. Mang Inasal apparently belongs to Jollibee.
Ah, yeah.
And, and guys, I've been in Angeles anyway. I've been to a lot of rotisserie chicken places, including Kenny Rogers, from Kenny Rogers and other places that do rotisserie chicken, all the way from Nepo Mall, all the way to Mabalaka to, different places. Um, Honestly, the best rotisserie chicken that I've had and Heidi's had, and Heidi will agree with me on this one, is Mang Inasal. Just saying.
Philippines, did you send that to other vloggers? Because the other ones have been talking about it. So he's going on about the name of somebody, and allegedly they're going to expose about her being 17. And honestly, that doesn't even trigger me on a 17-year-old. That's what was mentioned by the other vlogger, was they've got proof by what he's mentioning. So it looks like they're just spreading the information around. I say be about it, guys. Why don't you guys go down and report him, like, for real? That's what I say. Why pass it around, talk about it, and have information for a long time and not just do something? If that's how they feel, that's not inciting anything. That's just being honest.
Well, what Heidi's saying is report, not
But yeah, report.
do something about it. Do something about it as a report,
Right.
not anything further than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we said earlier. I said that. What we said earlier.
Mr. McLevin says seems like the crowd is divided
McLevin.
on regular guy 50-50. Yeah, I would say so. Because again, everybody sees him again. If you're an innocent type person or naive, you won't see anything wrong with it. And some will look for faults, and of course you will. And I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying some people tend to look at faults. I'm always the glass is half full kind of guy, so I don't usually see this kind of stuff. But sometimes some people look at the downside.
McLevin.
Yeah. Okay. Why are you defending this guy? 20 years as a non-licensed teacher is strange. If you have any knowledge about Korea, we are, but we're not.
Do we have like proof? I have to go by
It's
that
one of
proof
those
factor.
because here's remember you have to remember again, Chippy. Again, I'm not picking on you.
Yeah, Chippy, where did you get that? What did that originate off that other channel, and the other one that circles covering this right now? Was he the one that actually provided? I mean, I know he has mentioned he's got tax issues, and I know at some point he talked about working over there. I think it was a 10-year period.
Right.
But maybe he's just doing that to
Well, it's
bring more people
possible.
in to watch. I don't know.
It's one either. Okay, not going deep into it, but it's possible. One, could he have made up as being teacher? Yes. I'm not neither confirm nor deny. I'm just saying, could he have made it up? Technically, he could have. I'm not saying he
And
did.
I guess we're kind of doing the thing that the other channels
Also,
are doing. Is
remember, a lot of
can we
times
prove?
that a teacher does not necessarily mean license. Even in the U.S., there's a lot of tutors, which is teaching, that are unlicensed that go door to door.
How many illegals are there in the U.S. that are working? And
Well, I'm not even talking about
this,
illegals.
and
I'm
that,
talking about
under the table. He could have been under the table. The whole
that's what I'm
time.
saying. There's a lot of tutors out there, teachers that go door to door in different clientele.
Yeah.
Scheduled, they teach, and
We know out of his own mouth, I mentioned that he said
Yes,
that
he
he
said
wasn't
he was
paying taxes or
he was a
something,
teacher and all that, but
and all
again,
that
he could have
might have been
been under the table. Yes, and that's what I was getting at. In the U.S., this is very common. I understand Korea has these laws. Again, not
Mhm.
defending the guy, but also not condemning him either. It doesn't mean you don't. The point is, you can't condemn somebody because you
Is
don't
it
know.
worth your time? Is it worth what's going on? And yeah, all of that.
Right. Also, remember too that people who are quick to condemn are quick to turn. Again, that's what I'm saying too. That
Yeah.
if somebody's quick to point fingers,
And we've mentioned
I
on the,
wouldn't be friends with that guy because I know they'll turn on me.
I mean, we've mentioned that we thought he was creepy over the years. I didn't like what he was saying about the Muslim girl for good reason. She's conservative and some of the things he did. I get it. Same with the tax thing. But I mean, again, I'm not going to waste even 20 seconds to go down there. Not even a minute, man. I'm not even going to get dressed and put a bra on and get myself together and shave just to go down there and report him. It's just not where it is. If I see him with my own eyes on a child that's really young and he's actually got him in a back alley, then I'm gonna take care of business, like business, and then go down and report him. So I'm gonna snatch him up by the back of his neck, and that's gonna be all there is to it. That's just being really, really honest.
Well, if he's
But
within arm's reach anyway.
yeah, within
He-
arm's
he-
reach.
Well, baby's not
Right.
even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
He-
Well, he comes to this area every now and then, but
Yeah.
it's
You need to
just where
fly
it
and then
is.
drive. You have to fly 6 hours and then drive 3 hours even to get to him at this point.
That is
But
true.
anyway, Ronald Trunk living in a kubo down by the river. Actually, it's more like shack because they're like just pieces of tarp and leftover wood mostly.
Yeah, what is
They put themselves there, majority coming from Visayas River people. D-Man, okay, that's a good question. Is regular guy going to be deported? Odds are no for several reasons. One, they have to, okay, in all
I mean,
fairness,
maybe,
even
maybe
if,
not.
let's say I'm against him. I'm not saying I am. Let's say I'm against him. I really want him deported.
Babe, I want you to really say what I mean, like really deep down inside how you feel about this.
I'm impartial. I'm always impartial.
Right, I got it. But how do you feel about multiple channels posting all this? And they are, that there is something going on. It's been going on for months and they've known about it probably even longer than a month. And then they're just talking about it. If it's really
right,
that
if
serious,
it's real and if you have proof, do
serious
something
proof.
about it.
Because I don't think the government's going to take a move on a 17-year-old
Now,
that he's.
that being said, again, let's say, okay, let's pretend that's what I was getting at. Let's say I'm one of these guys who are really after him. Guess what? If you're going to do that, go ahead. Go to the Bureau of Immigration, file your report and all that.
Mhm.
But guess what? They have to track him down, which is next to impossible right now.
Things he's always on the move.
One,
And they're going to ask you for his address.
you have to have definitive proof first, though. Okay, unless you have definitive proof, meaning not just hearsay, not just you have to have definitive proof, and odds are you have to have a parent of the child or something like that, an ID with the child, and then they're like, okay, this happened.
Oh,
She's gonna file a report.
which just made me think about something. I was just. Sorry.
Well, what I'm saying is, even if they have definitive proof, they have the parent, they have the child, they have the ID,
Mhm,
they still have to track them down.
mhm. I just thought about something. So we're putting more truths out there about the ones exposing other channels that are exposing people, talking about things, talking about deportation, expats' lives, and of course we cover other stuff. I had to put that on the side. And then I think about where they just started to flip and talk about we're poor, I'm big, and all this stuff. They're just trying to deflect off their own situation.
No,
One,
correct.
it's because they're hating right now.
Correct. What it
because
is,
we're
people pick
calling
on
them
people
out.
because they are not happy with
They're unaware.
themselves.
Well, they're just
Well,
they just nothing.
no, really, that's
I
a
just
fact.
thought about that deeply. That yeah, give it another week or two, and we'll be their next focus, or they'll just deflect and say, "Yeah, I've already done it." But I think about that now that there are several
Well, it
that have
doesn't
not
take
done
Sigmund
anything.
Freud to figure that one out.
Right.
But anyway,
So
um,
yeah. So
AJ says, I just gave time for proper authorities to respond with various emails sent to them before a deal. Well, that's the thing. Again, emails is not enough. You need definitive proof. If your emails have attachments to them that show definitive proof, different story.
they're not going to accept the emails.
Odds
I
are
know that for a
odds are
fact.
no. Odds are no.
I have been sent back messages that they will not take any email, any of this stuff, not through the tax departments, not through anything. When there has been non-vloggers, okay, we told you like this one guy had all kinds of stuff. They did not take anything. They actually told us to come in.
All right.
So
Now, if that says
I'm
Bill
not
Clinton
believing
is guilty
you can
too,
send it.
and also, guys, you guys really think OJ did it? Just saying, he's already gone.
Yeah. Let's start with OJ, right?
Yeah, let's start with OJ. MJ says, I have to admit, I'm not into bars or girls. You'll find in the
Might
environment,
as well
so
blame it on Trigger the horse.
you'll never see what happens in these places. The only regular guy videos I watch are the ones when he's traveling. Actually, that's another thing. Let's go to the bars. You really think those girls are of legal age?
Oh my God.
You know how many
10, 11, and 12-year-old
underage
girls are
bar
working
girls
there.
there are?
And then they tell them and pay them. And we're talking about the Wolfpack group down there, the Koreans, the Filipino bars, all of them. Okay. They send those girls back to the province and they pay them to bring back additional girls. Then they're not exactly carding these guys. They've raided these bars time and time and time again, and they find them every time.
I love you guys. Bill Clinton is not guilty. He didn't inhale. Oh, that's right, the dress. That's fuck. That's messed up. They actually tested the dress. That's just messed up. But anyway,
How could,
the
well, how did
dress.
he inhale?
No, not
She
they're not.
did.
They're not talking about him.
Oh, her?
Yes.
Well, he also said he didn't inhale. Maybe he was doing two things at once.
Right. I know.
Maybe.
Out of Ordinary
Ah,
says, I love the name Out of Ordinary. I once among Inasal, hello, gotta fly back there. Right. No, guys, among Inasal, again, I've gone through a lot of barbecue places in the Philippines, but Mang Inasal has the best rotisserie chicken. And their barbecue, I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with their barbecue. And I don't mean it in a bad way. Like their barbecue is way too tender.
yeah.
Way too tender. It's really good.
Shekel said further down, let's say Popeyes will blow all the chicken away in the Philippines. I like Popeyes. Chicken's the one thing that I do eat as far as the meat. Shekel says I
Now,
buy
okay.
Costco's roast chicken.
What chicken would you prefer here in the Philippines?
McDo.
McDonald's, yes. I know it's weird,
Jollibee
but
is good, but I like the
McDonald's chicken, in our opinion, is the better one, even against KFC, even against Kenny Rogers.
And if the electricity wasn't so high, I mean, you can't buy the chicken and cook it in a rotisserie item or an oven. It would still cost you over, believe it or not, how much are the chickens? $3.50, which make them about $7 here. And so if we cook it here, we'd end up buying it and cooking it would be almost $10 if we didn't cook it in a grill outside, or if we use the air fryer or the
Oh no,
actual
never
thing.
mind. Don't use an air fryer.
Yeah,
Shekel
we
says
wanted
I buy
that.
$5
So
Costco roast chicken, cut it up, and make chicken dough. Yes,
yeah.
that's what we do too. We get the rotisserie chicken and chop it up and make something else out of it.
Mhm.
Most of these guys can't report because they're not in Philippines. Some of them, yes, they're not. Ocean Breeze says yes, Molina Sol is the best. Huh. John Ryder, if you ever one near you, go to Gus's world famous fried chicken. All Gold says, why the F are expats policing other expats in the Philippines? Unless there's a clear evidence, mind your own business. People's lives can be destroyed based on gossip.
Can be.
Can be, yes.
That's kind of where that's all going, because a few people have sent messages and there's comments in our comment section that talk about the stuff being said against him, from multiple channels. In the end, it can get you in trouble. We're talking serious accusations that are being put out there, and there's a lot going on. I will not be involved in the parent thing, and saying 100% he did it or any of that. The only thing we know of for sure is what we've said.
Right. Now, I agree. Regular guy is actually smart. He's intelligent. He's very smart. In fact, his title alone, or his name of his channel, Richard Simmons says a regular guy wouldn't name his channel regular guy if he really believed he was a regular guy.
And
Master
then
rule reverse psychology, guaranteed piggery off camera.
that is being said that he manipulates everything around in the conversations just to bring his own point around, and that's the classic sign of what they're saying is going on. But I think I don't know. I don't think
Well,
that's
and Lawler says regular guy said he was in license for 10 years, and 10 years he went for life.
okay. Yeah, so that's why I said he did admit
Right. And
on his own
again,
taxes
there's a
thing.
lot of unlicensed teachers in the US, and most people don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm.
I mean, sometimes some unlicensed teachers are better than the ones that are licensed. I mean, a license is just a piece of paper,
And I
technically.
say, why wait for people to create YouTube channels? The stuff is out there if you guys look. If you think about the brothels and the different things going on illegal in the US or
Yeah.
here, and it's kind of crazy.
Tribal Trend says you do not need a license to teach English in Korea, just a bachelor's degree. For the most part, that's what I've heard. Most time, you just need a bachelor's degree. Everybody's still talking about fried chicken. Can't blame you guys. William Chrysler says Korea has a good teaching program. Epic. You can work and pay into a public pension program. Housing is often included. Many teachers work multiple jobs there to save money. Oh, that's good to hear. No, I disagree with you, LG. The problem is if you don't condemn regular guy, you're supporting guy. Crazy mentality. It's like you need to choose sides. Two mutual friends. No, I disagree with you. If that's the case, you guys know, for instance, there's NATO, right? You guys ever heard of NATO? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So that's like saying that if you're not a member of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, then you are a member of the CCCP. You're communist. Okay, I'm not saying there's something wrong with communist nations or anything, but point I'm trying to make is that's probably the worst mentality anybody can have on earth. If you're not with us, you're against us. No, I disagree. Because it doesn't mean somebody doesn't agree with you. It doesn't mean they're your enemies. Because guess what? Not everybody agrees with everything
And
ever,
that's pretty much what we
including
cover.
your wife, your children, your brother, your sister, your mom, and your dad. They don't agree with you 100%. Does that mean they're your enemies? Incorrect, sir.
Yep.
That does not make them your
Regular
enemies.
guys, you are supporting the guy. Why? Because he propositioned somebody on Walking Street.
No, we're not condemning him
And
nor defending him. We're just
17-year-olds, like I
we're
said,
trying to be neutral here.
3-year-olds.
And again, like I said, if you're part of NATO, and if you're not, rather, if you're not part of NATO, does that mean you're anti-NATO? It means you're anti-American? No, it doesn't mean that. That's the
Or if you
worst.
dislike one American, you dislike all of them.
Correct.
Or if you dislike
It's
one Filipino,
you
oh my
can't
God, they're
have that
Filipino
mentality.
haters now.
The problem
It's,
is
you can't do it.
if you don't condemn America, you're supporting incorrect, sir. Very incorrect mentality. Now let's see.
Yeah.
That's a
Maybe.
song, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that song in a while. I think I remember the music video. It's like it's the band and they're playing and everything's white. I believe that's the music video. Thad says so many cold cases and missing persons for this bus speed bump. There you go.
Okay, so yeah, Philip Janik further down said he's talking to that other channel that's posted stuff on there about him saying, "Can I buy you a milk tea?" That doesn't mean he's guilty because of that statement. I'm still thinking that is so petty myself. We discussed that the last time. Why? I mean, you realize how many expats actually offer to buy young kids food, middle-aged kids food, and kids that are teenagers? I get it's creepy, but you can't go to immigration and say, "Hey, this guy's trying to buy milk tea," along with he hasn't paid taxes in Korea in 10 years, and he records and zooms in on girls. And I think there is, you know,
Can we
depends.
invite regular guy here? Yes, we can. However, it doesn't mean he'll make it. He's been in our show
We can get him
twice.
here.
Yeah, in
If you
two
guys
different
want to
occasions.
see
He's been, yeah, he's cammed
where
up.
two of the teams have actually teamed up, you'll see how that went. And I didn't exactly see any of this being put out.
All right. So, but
So,
again, odds are he won't for several reasons. One, he's mainly traveling. Even the other
and
time he,
after what's being said, he's definitely not going to come on. We have
correct,
not said anything, but I think from what the other parties are putting out, don't blame them.
right,
And nobody's trying to be nobody's mother. He was strictly saying he just wanted to talk to him and using our platform. It has nothing to do with running to Heidi and George to talk. He wasn't telling us. He wanted to appear on our show and say his piece. At least he came on, and so did Andy. Okay, they both came on.
they both
That
came
was
on.
their chance to say something. And as you guys see, a lot of you guys said it was boring. Well, where was all the burn, hype, screech, scrotch, and all that? Scrotch, screech. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't
Again,
think we'll get a chance like that again from here. All I can say is if people have it, then report it. If you don't, then hmm,
yeah. Now let's get serious here. I mean, free Paul Cardwell, free World Zoom.
he's not. That's one thing I can state a real fact on. That man is being deported.
No, he is. Again, in all seriousness, he's getting deported.
I'm not going to. Hey, there is no in between on this. Paul is leaving. And I don't like. I mean, George says he's neutral on him. I think that he just lied his ass off, had a chance, still continued to lie. Okay, I just think he's just a pathological liar. That's just where it is. He lied on all the channels. He had a chance to come clean. He didn't even come clean when he came clean, and then he left and came back and was still saying the same thing,
Yeah.
guys.
Now, Philippine Sex Post says, "Now I understand where your concern is. Kind of weird. Guess it's only bad when your friend's kid or your kid or someone kid you know. If it's others, it's not your problem. Gain views and talk. No, that's not what it's about. The point,
That's what their channels are doing. He'll say it's not about the money, so why does he keep covering it or the others keep covering it? And
right?
no, the answer is I already said what happened to me. My kids too. And to get involved in
I have
something like that
daughters. Of
without
course, I care. However, again, you guys are
know
bearing
when
you
it's your
guys are
fight,
bearing pitchforks and everything, and do you have different? I get you say you do. I get it. I understand you claim you do,
then you go with it on
or
that.
you
That's all
allegedly
we
have one. Again, I say these words because I'm not sure because I honestly don't know you
I think
either.
a lot of you are listening to the multiple channels and you're just that's it and then you're going for it. I get that there are different things and it doesn't look like a good case. But if it is so, I still call out everybody if that's what it is.
And again, here we go. Lawler says, "What if things get filed? Then he falls back on you for defending. Defending what? What did we defend exactly? Say the exact words that I said. I condone this behavior.
Yeah. What if things have been filed? Okay, good
Right.
for that.
Say,
If it has,
well,
we're
just what I'm
talking
saying.
to the group.
Repeat the words that me and Heidi said that no,
Then it
he,
falls back on you for
no, we're
defending.
not
Well,
defending him.
how is that going to fall back on me? So here's the thing. You guys go the long way around and you guys know who
We
you
are
are,
neither
including Lawler.
defending nor attack nor
You
condemning.
know, the weird thing is you guys hardly say anything to George because you know he's a Filipino. A lot of people know what Filipino in this country actually means, and he's an actual
It
citizen.
means I can go after you.
And then you guys come out after me and
AKA
you're
expats. Filipinos can go after expats.
expats, Filipinos, or other expats. Yeah, you all tried me and all these different things. And honestly, I don't lose any sleep over
But
this.
that's the
But then
thing.
saying for defending, so then what's going to happen? They're going to come arrest me next because I'm overweight, because I was caught with a piece of chicken. Maybe it's because I can't fit in the front seat. Maybe it's because of this or that, or because of what?
Yeah.
Everything that
So
we do is at
let's
board.
let's analyze things, shall we? Lawler,
Everything is at board.
you go to the cops. That guy, RG over there, he's going after little kids. Cop goes like this. Where's your evidence?
Hmm.
Is he defending? Is he defending RG? That's what we're saying. Where's your evidence? That's all we've been saying. All we've been saying is don't go after the guy unless you have definitive proof, definitive evidence.
Hmm.
And when you do, if you do, go to the proper authorities. Don't go after his family. Don't go after him personally. Go to the proper authorities. And again, Lawler, are we defending? Again, I'm again emphasizing because we're saying, do you guys have definitive proof? Are we defending? No, because guess what? The cops are going to say exact words. Where's your evidence?
Hmm.
That doesn't mean the cops defending him, is it?
And we're not exactly defending him. If you missed from the beginning, and what we've always said, this is an entire conversation. This is a live stream discussion
Right.
about topics of expats and life here in the Philippines. They're not going to come back on us and say, "Oh my God, you're defending him now.
No,
You're going
they'll
to
even
jail." What do you
say
think they're going to deport
they'll even
me?
say like they're not defending him. They're just asking for evidence.
I don't believe one thing anybody says about
I mean,
deportation.
do you really think even you approach a district attorney in the U.S. that guy's cartel? They'll look at you like, "Where's your evidence?" Does that make the DA defending the cartel? No.
Yeah.
They'll ask for evidence. Sorry, Lawler. Anyway,
Falls back on you for defending him. And how about the others for threatening him? Think about that. Now, here's the thing, I don't think he'll do anything about these threats that have been going out from other channels. That just probably his profile, and that's the same as us. You guys can say that
right.
all you
And
want. Nobody's going to turn nobody in. Nobody's going to the police or whatever. But don't step in my range. That's all I can say.
well, Walk to
Okay.
Say says, what did regular guys get accused of?
Yeah.
But John Ryder
That's
says
what I want to know.
OJ did it.
100%, right? I'm gonna do it. Gonna squeeze that orange juice. Squeeze it.
Um, Isangana says, I saw a meme with OJ at the pearly gates. He had the glove.
Oh,
Oh, snap.
snap.
And St. Peter was asking, it looks like it fits. Oh, dang, that ain't right. Okay, now,
He probably expected that anyways.
for those of you who missed it, OJ had this big giant SUV. It's called an Expedition, right? Now, we had a Chevy Blazer 4-door extended cab. So it's
Looked
this.
like a
It
lot
looked like
like
an
it.
Expedition. It's the size of an Expedition. It's not your typical
We made it our
Chevy
YouTube
Blazer.
vehicle.
Yeah, and we called it the OJ.
Yeah, it was
It had
hilarious.
tinted
Windows,
and everything.
And it
Yeah,
was like really big. We
we
put the
called it the
equipment and
OJ.
we used it for camping and traveling when we used to do our thing. It was one of the cars that we had. It was, we weren't going to buy a new minivan.
Now, Steve, I agree with you. What's messed up is that Monica saved the dress. I know, right? She's like, I can use this someday.
And that's a good possibility. And so are a lot of women around the world. I mean, me and George was just talking about this regular guy thing, and you're hearing it from a female's point too. How many women are 16, 17, 15 that are up in bars that these guys are Googling? And I get if they're in a bar, they're supposed to be legal and all that. We're talking about after they find out,
Well,
guys.
actually, that's another thing that we brought
It's
up on the topic that some girls
to
do lie.
me,
They do have false IDs, but false birth certificates. Fact.
and should he know? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's well, okay.
You can't ask me, because to me, if a guy is willing to sleep with an 18-year-old, when it falls into the category of a 16 and 17-year-old, I mean, just a few years back, what was the legal age here in the Philippines? 12.
Yeah, but
And the guys knew that
no, no,
and
no, no,
used it
no,
back in the
no.
day.
I don't like saying those things because a lot
They'll
of people,
misunderstand.
twist the words. First off, it was never actually 12.
What was the legal
It's
consent?
12 plus 3 years, meaning the other
age.
guy has to be 15 years old to be with a 12-year
That's
old.
always been like that
If
over
it
the
yes,
years.
if it's a 14-year-old, then it has to be 17. Yes.
Okay.
And there's usually during those times where it says 12, they're going to marry. A lot of I'm Filipino guys. I know this is how it
Well,
works.
I don't care. I mean, I'm not saying that a 50 or 60-year-old is supposed to come here and hunt down a 17 or
Right.
16
Even the
year old.
newest one, the latest revamp, whatever, it's 16.
Guys of all
But
ages.
it's 16 plus 3. The oldest the guy has to be, or girl, it doesn't
I
matter,
thought that just applied to the
is
US one.
again 16 plus 3. And that's a maximum age limit. It's
Yeah, but most of
so
them
bottom
don't
line,
do that.
guys, it's 18 years old. If you're an expat and you're an adult, it's 18 years old. Forget the age of
It doesn't
consent.
make
It never has been the way that these diddlers. Oh, it's 12 years old. No,
And are
never,
these people going to get
ever.
involved if they know it's a Filipino that's down there doing that? What if that was a Filipino guy in his 40s or 50s and they were in the same, what's his name? Are they going to report him? I think they're just doing it because he's a vlogger and because he's an expat.
Well, that's
I
another
think
thing.
part of that falls in that category.
That's another thing. Again,
Is
like
it okay for the Filipinas that are here to sit there and run their mouths about different things? And then when we repeat the same thing, then all of a sudden it's a total sin. It's
well,
really crazy.
go after the guys on Walker Street. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
saying go after him. I'm saying if you're so gun ho going after this particular guy,
Might as well get a
here's the
list.
thing. Even John Ryder says most
Get a
of
list.
them girls are illegal. We're talking about the clubs here.
Right.
They had rated the weekend I was there. No, most of these
And the
girls are
guys
underage.
know it. So go in
And the guys
there
know
and
it.
snatch somebody up in there and report
But
them.
they pretend in their heads, well, they're working in a club. They must be legal.
See him up there having breakfast with them the next day, guys. They know. They know. That's why this doesn't phase me whatsoever. I know what happened to me when I was that age. I know what happens in young teen girls, the hormones raging through them, the ones that need the money, the ones that are working, the ones that are being approached. And it does not. I
Right.
said,
Will X, ooh, discussing about Armstrong suit. Yes. Steve says, if
Yes.
anyone not tried Mangisao, try it. It's amazing. No, it's insane.
This is like a weird conversation.
Well, it's
Armstrong, regular guy,
Hey.
chicken,
who doesn't love chicken?
underage, overage, old chicken, new chicken.
Steve, apparently you've eaten Mangisao.
Yeah, no.
Aren't there barbecue on a stick like
falls off.
insanely good? Like it does. It's like eating pork, but not pork at the same time. It's so weird. It is so good. It's that weird. You're like,
Is it
this.
dog meat?
Yeah,
Just like-
yeah. Is this like a little
We have to
baby
make-
puppy that they cook? No, I mean it is so tender. You're like,
Is
oh my
this
god, it's so
snake meat?
good, insane.
It
Like,
is.
yeah, it's like, is this snake? You like you question if it's pork, but anyway, here we go again.
No, all you justice warriors should start reporting the Filipinos getting all the underage girls, correct, or the bar owners hiring them, correct. It's rampant. It should be so easy to report. That's what we're saying. We're calling out
There's
everybody,
so many
bloggers, haters.
real issues.
Right. So they've made that their big issue to go after these different vloggers, Tim K, all of these different ones that are supposedly ripping off the government and all this. And then it actually comes back at some point. Like I said, I'm going to mention recently, you guys want to actually, it just doesn't stop with him. It gets as simpleton as to talk about my size lately and talk about George and our love life and that we're poor and that we think we're rich and that we're just welfare cases. It's like that's all you got. So this will give you an idea of the mentality of the vloggers and those are actually following all this gossip. And some of y'all got involved in that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. For us, it's just YouTube. We know who our loyal followers are. It's not
Yeah,
going to
no.
hurt that you
Thank
set
you
up
guys.
and
Appreciate you guys.
3 or 4 other channels and say that. But same mentality today manhunt, witch hunt for a regular guy and talking about others because they said they were referencing to others. Actually mentioned all kinds of stuff about me, and it's like that's all you guys got.
Yeah.
So I have to mention it. Just
No,
silly,
yeah,
same mentality.
yeah. And guys,
So
if I've
this
been
stuff happens everywhere.
if Heidi's talking and I'm laughing, it's not because of what she's
Oh,
saying.
he's reading
It's
stuff.
because I'm reading about the chicken, because it's just funny.
Yeah, no, it's
Illuminar, I
I
disagree
mean,
with you,
it
man.
it kind of loses for me. Let's say I followed this and followed different things that were going on about these different vloggers. There's some that I can say I actually don't like, and then some I think it's gone too far. And it's again multiple channels. I have to say that. No pick on one person. And then if that person all of a sudden start talking about, oh, and this is an example, oh, old dog is just all dried up and his skin is old and look at his crusty feet and he hasn't changed his jeans in 3 weeks and all the man does is eat cigarettes and packs of cigarettes and drinks tons of beer and but he isn't paying his taxes. I would just lose all faith in what that vlogger was saying because there's so much dogging the one person or the other things. The thing they were trying to push about not paying taxes as their initial and whole situation, there's no more credibility there.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
that's personal attacks on different people. And that's why they're calling certain vloggers out about personal attacks because that's what it sounds like. You should have done something a long time ago. I
exactly.
have a name that I would like to call, and if you would like to,
Yeah, and if you guys want to hear about all the things that old dog does wrong, just go to babymaytalks.com.
right, baby
Yeah.
May talks that. Yeah. Your
Yeah.
cats are annoying. So
Illuminar, I disagree with you. Illuminar says SNR roasted chicken is the best. Okay. Salem the realtor. I
okay.
guess I missed something, or Salem says you're in Pampanga and you got Manginasal. Lol, I missed out something. How many Manginasals are there around here?
5 or
They're
6
everywhere.
stores.
In
Yeah,
fact,
there's a lot of them.
you know the place where we used to live? There was a Manginasal there. They closed down.
Hmm.
No, there's more than you
Well, the
realize.
reason we know is because when we've ordered, especially during the pandemic, you was able to order, then it would say how many stores are available and located. I think there's 5 or 6 available for delivery.
Okay,
But I'm
now
sure there's probably more.
Brian, I personally haven't tried Pinongs. I'll give it a shot when we do come across it. I'm not sure where it is. Pinongs is the best barbecue in the Philippines. As of right now, the best barbecue I've tasted personally is Manginasal barbecue, but I haven't tasted Pinongs yet.
Well, my question is now that I'm looking at the Philippines exposed, have you personally went down and reported them? I have to ask you about that. You're advising all this stuff. What's the point of you posting if you're not physically? I mean, I'm like questioning at this point. He's got a bunch of different stuff about different people. Like, so something was said about the attack on Uncle Jesse. If he felt that was wrong, then he can file a case and all this different things or whatever is going on. But here lately on his channel appears to be the focus is on that. So then I'm asking, you guys claim, including the other channels, it's not about money and this and that. So then what is the actual, like, what's up?
Right.
You know, some people will say it's about awareness, but if you're trying to bring total awareness, then you would be down there doing that. So I'm
Right.
curious on
Now,
that. Have you?
short load gives a different perspective and it makes sense to me. Short load says, I've never seen regular guy around young folks when he was not in a public space with other people around. Basically, what he's saying is whenever he does all of this stuff, he's in public, which means odds are nothing can or nothing will happen.
Right. So it's kind of like the other channels we talked about, like the Lechon guy that has it out with Sunshine and all this. Sometimes he's just up in his house and these girls are up in the house doing these
See,
recordings
that's different.
in private. And
Right.
he doesn't hide the type of person he is. I mean, how do we know that that's just not a persona? I mean, they're saying when he's drunk, we've seen where he's popped off. I mean, where does it? It's not really inciting to report. If it is that serious and you guys feel it, you guys know what to do. I can see regular guys sitting there now saying, God, stop saying that, Heidi. And I'm just calling people out. I mean, you put your behavior out there, it is what it is. And when it doesn't pan out, I think I will. It's still caca-poo-poo behavior and the way they did it. It wasn't
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
professional at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's the way it's done. Correct. I agree with you on that one. Travel Trend says Mike does that too. He's classic narcissist. He never admits his wrong or apologizes.
We try to. I mean, we can't, like, you can lead a horse to water and make them, you can't make them drink. So is that what the rest of vloggers are doing at this point? Forever, they were leading people about coming here and finding the women. Then other channels started exposing other channels, and there was like the expat help and different thing. It's kind of all over the place, but a lot of channels like ours start talking about the real truth here. It's like people didn't talk about appliances, and they didn't talk about the cost and the real struggles and the heat and the bugs, and there wasn't a lot of female vloggers out there that were Western. Like, our channel is definitely one of the originals. You're not going to find a Filipino with a woman that's actually doing vlogging. There's women that have some kids and they're younger. Some of them are really young, and then when you look, they're not even doing live streams. So it's, our channel has been doing this for a couple years, and we're hoping that people are learning from something, and that, the big topics of discussion. And
Right. Now, Chippy
I
Whisk,
kind of lost where I was.
you kind of missed the point there. Teacher's college is quite useful. It is a professional degree. It's not just a piece of paper. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about certification. Certification is basically a piece of paper, meaning you have to do a test, take the test, you get passed, you get the certificate or license as it were. Um, Now, you guys ever watch Flight of the Phoenix? Okay, Flight of the Phoenix is a good example. Flight of the Phoenix is about a plane crash in the middle of the desert, and then they rebuild the plane and they flew out of it. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because the guy is an aircraft engineer. Okay. Now he's not certified to be an aircraft engineer. He's a he's a model aircraft engineer. And what I'm saying is he has, if you have the knowledge and the degree, and that's what I said, most of the time teachers have a bachelor's degree. If you have the degree, that means you have the knowledge. Because he, again, is technically an engineer, but not a certified engineer. Doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. It doesn't mean he doesn't have the knowledge. He just didn't go for that particular test.
Mhm.
And in the end, yeah, it was a big fight. They were in the middle of the desert. They're dying, but they
Oh,
fought the
snap,
guy.
McLovin.
But either way, they flew out of there. But anyway,
He said maybe we can lure a regular guy on with some girls. Oh, I'm sure he would come on, but I mean, I kind of can't blame him. But let me make one more solid statement about things. And I told George this, and I'm about ready to really offend some of y'all. Y'all need to buck up. You guys just need to buck up if you're coming to the Philippines, or you guys are just bored sitting back in your country, because most people aren't going to come here. We called that out before. And if you guys are really complaining about regular guy with some 16 and 17-year-old, you guys need to talk about strapping something on. I mean, the truth is, when you've had a rough life, and there's some of us that have been through some rough stuff, this is child's play, in my opinion. I really think this is not the real deal. There are people trading kids off for rice. There are starving kids that die constantly on the streets here. There are people that, again, 6, 7, and 8-year-olds being put on camera and forced into acts for money. Why don't you guys start with that? And all this one-on-one on expats, again, I'll mention the weight and the name calling over weight. That's all you guys got. And so all this talk of doing it, I say actually just do it if that is a major concern, and not use the entire thing and multiple live streams and footages and everything on one person like that. And you say, well, Heidi and George, you guys have done that. No, usually we add something to it. Like when we covered the Armstrongs, it's because he closed his channel. And then today was about the visa situation because it's in the newspaper that spouses and girlfriends and boyfriends are starting to turn in expats. It's still additional news. If you look at the things that are pertaining, we only hang on that subject for a little bit and only if there's something still going on. Buck up, guys. And you all know who I'm talking to. I'm just calling out the extra double gossipers and the trolls that go in just to say things. And, those know solidly what's actually going on. And I get that you guys don't want to hear it from a loudmouth or a female expat in the Philippines. This is what you guys were trying to get away from. But there are others that actually appreciate and know that they're getting solid reels, not smoke being blown up your ass about dating, not this childish play of let me show you a few things and look at this person and they're dirty and this is what's going on. And you wouldn't have done it to your neighbor. These are the same butt licks that were living next to you in the United States. Did you do anything about your neighbor then? How much did you know about your neighbor where things were just down and dirty? When you seen her being punched in the face or her punching him in the face and all, then you guys didn't do nothing. You want to come to the Philippines or report somebody 13,000 miles away.
No,
It's
these are the
just,
kind of
this
ones
is,
that would call the animal control over. No, this is true story.
well, either too much, too under, or too over.
Well, that's what I'm saying. True story. This is
Over
like,
or
okay,
under.
my neighbors did this to me. True story. I have the sweetest pit bull ever. Okay. You know what she did? She ran over to the neighbor's yard, grabbed one of their flip flops that are laying in front of their lawn, and took it
George
over.
Troubles.
And they called the freaking animal control over my dog because she did that. What? Like, really? You can't walk over to me
Quite the opposite here.
or even just grab your flip flop in my front lawn.
Pick
Like,
your battles.
point being is these are the same ones that again will like yell, scream, and point without even doing anything about it. Like I said, the neighbor called the freaking animal control. Like, dude, your flip flops right there. It's not even chewed up. It's a dog. It's just playing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at.
Once again,
Victoria, how you doing, Victoria?
hey, Victoria. No, because we're not going to deal with extra trolls. So, whole reason why we did something earlier. So, if the shoe fits, if the shoe fits, that's where it is.
Actually, this is also an interesting point. Bisayang because Bisayang says if regular has been reported, why keep beating the issue, making money off it? Do you feel it's right? Drama is still drama. Okay,
I don't think he's addressing.
well,
There's different things.
I'm
but
pretty sure Bisayang is thinking the same way we are. The beating a dead horse kind of deal. Bisayang I'm pretty sure you're thinking the same thing we are. Like,
So then it's just for drama, and they're
didn't
not going
didn't
to do
you
anything.
beat this horse already? It's already dead, right? And I'm just
And we're bringing it up because
I'm just
it's
saying
been
things
in
out
recent.
loud. What
Yeah.
you're probably thinking, I don't know if you're thinking the same thing, but to us, you're like, you guys are beating
And
the
Lawler,
dead horse.
I say prove it. I say prove whatever you had put in there. Only whatever was actually put out there, I would disagree with everything that you said. Disagree. And that's exactly why where you, he, she is actually right now. See on the dark side. And I mean that.
Actually, I wouldn't know how much it would cost to file a criminal complaint if you'd have to prosecutors off, including lawyers' fees, because I think that varies per lawyer.
And you're going to need that. Like,
How much is a retainer
well, it's a couple thousand pesos just to speak to
on
an
average?
attorney.
Yeah, on
So
average.
here it's not going to be like the US where you're going to need, and back in the day it was 500 to 1,000 US just to sit down
Yeah.
for a half hour. So here it's a couple thousand pesos, which you would have to start with the 100, 200 to talk to somebody. So in the case that's being filed with Mark Thornton, that probably was pretty costly because before they'll even look at that case, even though there was a police report, you do have to go in and file something additional against them. So they're taking that step, but it's a long process. I don't know. It would take a little bit and probably an attorney to push something.
Yeah, and again, it varies per attorney. Um,
And that's where you have to decide, like all these cases, and people talk about, I'm gonna file this against that person. And it's not the same as the US where they'll just like you can just walk in and do it yourself. And you can, but in order for something to be pushed and to really stick, you're going to need those attorneys. And I'll say, well, I've got the money and I'll do it, and but it's gonna take a long time.
right.
So then you're paying the attorneys forever.
Now, on somewhat similar subject, he says, I'm curious about what happened to the case of Bogey German.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah,
Well,
that was really a bad
the
case.
thing is, in the Philippines, when they go after, expat criminals, as it were, you'll get a report of them being arrested and detained. They don't. After that, that's it. No more reports. Unless you're a high profile case, they're not going to mention if you got deported or not. For the most part, the moment you're arrested and detained, that's it. You'll never hear from that expat again. For example, when Randy got arrested and detained, they never spoke when he got deported. You know what I'm saying? That's where the story ends, as it were. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Bogey German. Um,
Big Papa Travels at 1150 said you allowed all your panel members to accuse Scotty. We don't allow nothing. We allow you to come on. You say sometimes you're on one side and then the other, but we don't stop you from coming in. So there are always going to be different opinions. That is for sure. We don't allow nobody. That's funny how we open the panel and allow people to come in, and for everything that they're saying,
in fact,
that
you go against
we're
most of the things we say, and yet we still let you on the panel.
That's true. Like right now, we're not going to block you because you're being
In
honest, and we're
fact, there's a
other
lot of
channels would just do it,
a lot
but
of people in the chat, if you pay attention, are against what we say, and yet they're still there, aren't they?
yep. And there were some people on other channels that agree and disagree, but still come right back here.
Hmm.
That's what it's
I
about.
mean, look at the chat right now. In fact, a lot of it is against what we say,
Hmm.
but guess what? They're still there.
Yep.
They're still active.
And like I
What does
said, there's
that tell you
even
about us?
that we're not blocking just anybody unless it's actually
That's another thing you guys
really
have to watch out for.
necessary.
If you watch a chat on a live, or even not even chat, if all the comments all agree with the YouTuber, then it's filtered. Fact. Because
There's
nobody
something going on. Yeah.
nobody agrees with everybody 100%.
And I will tell you one thing. If I'm watching somebody's live stream, and you guys know we watch multiple channels, and that person that's running that live stream specifically keeps comments up about people or is in the talk about us, then that means you're against us or have a problem with us. Please understand that. So we will take that personal. So
Oh,
go figure that one out.
OJ had a Bronco. Oh, I
Oh,
miss I
was it a Bronco?
okay,
And
sorry.
that is true
Yeah, it's a Bronco.
because
Yeah.
when somebody, even though there's things we disagree on other channels, we're not going to like pop something up in our live stream on purpose where they're cussing about somebody, or and we try to control the actual comments, but why specifically put things up about channels? It doesn't make any sense. Or use us in a comparison. There was another channel months ago that used us as their good and bad, so we don't talk to them no more. So that is our actual choice, but we don't, there's only so many times that we won't accept for somebody to be within our realm, and we have the right to. It's our channel. But when a live stream's totally clean and you never see in there, like I see Mark Thornton's, he hides everything. Everything is always pro what's going on with his view. If you notice, we don't actually do that. And believe me, we would be down to 20 people if we got rid of every time somebody said something. or talked about George's hair or my hair or sizes, or you'd be surprised what we hear. So that's true.
Yeah. Illuminar says to bring civil or criminal case, you need $1,000 to start. I think I know what you mean. Not normally. I say not normally, but yeah, that's a good kickstart. You're just saying.
50,000, yeah, that'd probably be about a
Yeah,
start.
it's a good
50,
kickstart. Yeah,
60,000, yeah.
yeah, that's a good kickstart. Yeah,
hmm
you
But
don't.
in the U.S., it could cost thousands,
Mm,
so it's always cheaper here in the Philippines. That is for sure. No, we believe that the Dexter case will take a little bit. So,
no, yeah, the Dexter case.
but I
Yeah,
believed it could have been squashed if things were taken the other way. I mean, if he'd have not went for the full attack at his eyes and calmed down and not said and blasted his stuff all over the place, that's another case. How about that? If you guys really, and this is going to sound really odd, all the stuff said about Dexter, none of that's true. Full story told, I believe him. I don't even need proof at this point that all the stuff saying wrong about him. It's because somebody took one small little word or thought or sight and said, "Yep, that's what's going on," and it never happened. It never actually happened. And how people can twist things so quickly, especially when you're not in your country. So, I mean, that is just insane. They're saying the same thing about him that they're saying about regular guy. It's not true. So every time one of these guys that are running a stream, or because these guys all sit around without showing their face, by the way, you guys are listening to guys that half the time they're not even showing their face. Do we have people on our stream that don't show their face? Yes. And really, we're about ready to change that because I just think people should show their face. But this one guy just hides from everybody. So you guys are taking all the words of the tough guy, the guy who doesn't show his face, and against everybody that's out there, and you guys are just swaying with it. Are they not?
right now, Jim, you brought up a good question, and I feel like I should answer it because again, it is a fair question.
hmm
Antics. Why are you ignoring sex pets exposed? Okay,
We addressed him earlier.
first off, when there's something called YouTube etiquette, okay, and sex pets exposed does not adhere to proper YouTube etiquette. What's that? What are you
Mhm.
talking about, George? First off, you are not allowed to go in other people's channels, whether in their lives or their comment section, and say, go to my YouTube channel. Go check out my video. I
I
just
dropped a
uploaded a
video,
video.
and just not
I
him,
did
others
this.
have done
Go
it.
there now. Here's the proof. I get it. I understand what you're trying to do. But
And
you
that video is already out there. I,
correct.
I addressed
According
that,
to
Jim.
YouTube etiquette, you're not supposed to do that. So guess what? When somebody breaks that etiquette, they're gonna get.
I mean, right now we're actually just allowing him in there, hoping that he'll
He's still
stop
there,
addressing
right? The
people.
fact that we
And he's
haven't blocked him,
addressing people.
correct?
He's
Right.
addressing
You're not
people as a
allowed.
YouTuber in our
Correct.
room during our live
That's against
stream.
also YouTube etiquette.
And there's only a few channels that have earned that right because one, they're one of our moderators, or two, we've known them for years and met with them in person. So they've earned that actual right. We already know that and addressed them earlier, Jim, that that video has already been out. That's old footage. This is an old live stream that somebody saved and
Well, and
reposted,
even if it
and
is
we're not going
relevant,
to play it.
even it is new, it's still against YouTube etiquette.
Yep. So he wants the fact that he's, oh, I got the video, and why aren't you,
Yeah, come
it's
to
kind
my
of
channel.
odd.
Come to my. You don't
It's
go
really
to a Donald
odd.
Trump, convention, and you're like, check out
Biden
Biden's over there. You don't do that.
and we're and you are taking it, or him is taking it, that we're once again on the Scotty side. We already said our piece about what we feel about him. If you guys feel that way, then do it.
Right.
We're not pro the one channel, or not, well, kind of am now that they like to post things about us. That in this case, we know that's out there. We addressed it earlier.
Right.
We have this footage. We have other footage. And a 17-year-old is not going to change my mind to go against Scotty, and it doesn't for others either. If there's real stuff out there, look around, get in line, and go out and report a bunch of people. It really doesn't shake me to see him do that. I seen that footage. It's already been out there. I'm not going to post it up here for people to see, and we've already addressed it. So,
Oh, see, somebody LG. I'm not gonna put up what
and here's
I'm not
another
gonna put up
thing.
what you said, but see, now you know why exactly. Thank you. See, LG just said it in his comment. I'm not gonna put it up for reasons out of respect. But again, he's
And
like,
he knows
oh,
that. He knows
now I
that.
know why you got blocked. Yes, because there's YouTube etiquette you're not supposed to do, and now
Because also that channel swarms around in other channels talking about other channels, and they goes into their room and pretends to be their friend. And I will say that I'm calling that out too. But at one point he put our numbers up on his screen. We clearly knew they were our numbers and said, here's an example of blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, we used to be in on all of that. But after I seen that, and then he turned around and compared who's the best and the worst, and used us in both categories, and then left all the comments in there about us, then why would I? And he surely isn't going to address us directly. That is for sure. So no.
yeah, and Jim Elver says, kudos antics true, you do not block. Yeah, we rarely do.
Only,
We
and all I
we
can
rarely
say
do.
is you kind of know because the Philippines exposed, okay? Um, we've never really seen him up in our room before. At least, he can claim that he's been watching us in the background, but we've already addressed him on that video, and that's not going to change us on there. If it continues, then he's going to just get blocked because he's now aware of what's going on. We built this channel out of blood, sweat, and tears and out of organic. Not one bought person, not one paid view. We've never paid Google. And we're up against about 98% of just wanting to see these Filipinas that expose themselves in their lives and the sexpat channels and all these things. And we're just not going to let a few of them actually take us down. It's going to take a lot more than that. It's going to take a lot more than that.
Right. Now, example, Philippine sex past exposed says, weird someone has to be in a country to expose. I thought it was facts and proof. Can you expose them? Yes. Can you file? Probably not. However, it doesn't mean that what you expose cannot be used by somebody here and use what you have and file.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that.
But here's the same thing. If he wanted to do that on a German guy, you mean there are places heavier than just the NBI and immigration that you can actually go to. But I thought so too, because there were several people that contacted us when that typhoon went down. There were several vloggers that collected a crap load of money, used it for buying cars and building houses, and they did all this stuff and gave little or no money out. Okay. But according to people reporting, they wouldn't take none of the reports overseas. They have to physically go in and fill forms out. So it's like, okay, so it's like that in a lot of foreign countries where you just can't like call up and say, hey, I know this person's doing this. It's not like an FBI tip line. And even if you give it to them, it doesn't mean that they're going to really, not this day and age. If
Right.
you'd have called a tip line for the FBI in the 80s, they would have really processed that stuff. Hmm, that is for sure. Yeah, Philly in the Philippines, old dog. Mike's, what is Mike's Every Man Has a Story channel?
I think Mark.
Oh, probably Mark. Every man has a story, and most honest blogger out there is Sunshine. That's what we said. Every man on the interview on Mark Thornton, I
Hey,
think a lot
Calvin.
of stuff that he says is like kind of out there. And the thing about Social Security and some of the things, and we all make mistakes on the things we say, misinformation, usually not on purpose, learning. He's been here for a while. I just can't handle most of the interviews get to be the same for me. So it's kind of like the building thing. I get kind of bored really quick on if one person builds multiple houses or that's all it gets to be. And we used to watch the Armstrong family. I did. And then I just stopped when it became mostly about that, when it was his wife in there and the daughter and them where they were together as a family and learning about their relationship. I was more into that part of it. And I thought me and George called that when they were building that house, they made everybody believe it was for them. You remember that? And then I was like, oh my God, they're selling the house. They never even told anybody that's what they were in the middle of doing to make, at least I missed that part of it. And so same with the interviews. I just can't, it's just something that I just don't. But nope. And people like Sunshine, is some of his stuff would disagree with? Yes. I mean, there are things that he probably doesn't agree with us, and we can't always agree 100% of the time on all content. But once you kind of cross over a certain part, I get it. It's not for everybody. So,
Yeah, I'm just reading the weird comments like asking Calvin for a stimulus check. That's kind of stuff. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I see even Bruce Dave's like, how did you get your stimulus check?
yeah.
Yeah, and then
knows.
Expat and Training gave this very quote. Says they say truth is hidden behind their mask, but I believe truth comes out when they are masked.
I think if he's talking about the ones that hide and run their mouths and then they claim it's because they'll be caught, then the other one says he doesn't care if he gets caught, but he'll never confront anybody. Quiet rabbit. Then you got the bear that actually I call crap on all of it.
Okay, so I'm not going to argue with this one because this is somewhat true. Travel Trend says, yeah, Sunshine State said stay off the dating side. Then next video, if you want a Filipino, use the dating side.
It's part of the entertainment. I think we're all at some entertainment level.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take everything as Bible, put it that way.
All channels.
Yeah, never take everything as Bible.
And I see where Doc M is in the house. Was he
Hey,
in
Doc
there
M.
further up?
He just joined, I think.
Yeah, he said something about whack a pole contest today. Kind of missing that.
All right.
Unless he just means the different topics coming up.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. He says, yeah, like AJ
not a
have
lot's
whack-a-mole.
changed on this channel in the last couple months, so we put out a mix of content. So we had a live stream up. It was strictly about the Armstrong family. We came in last night about the channel being shut down. Then we seen an article today that said spouses can turn people in for violations. So then, is he violating? Does he really still? He was still building that house, so I'm not even sure that he would be working for somebody else at that point. And so they're wondering, being they haven't been together for a while, and all the incoming comments and messages, and makes sense to cover it with that new article coming out that they're cutting down and taking reports. It's kind of like they were saying, calling all spouses, turn in your expat people. It really seemed like a big call. It was an opportunity to do a live stream. And of course, regular guy has been in tons of comments. There are people pro the other channel and pro regular guy against and for both channels. And it seems to be going on with just a few channels. It's, we're neither here or there until you actually cross the line. And
all right.
another one bites the dust.
Hector says,
sleep on that.
Assuming we can find a competent lawyer and investigate, anyone else willing to pitch in? There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Yep. Like I said, all this time, months has gone by. Has anybody really actually the only time I would come forward is if we seen it with our own eyes. That other guy, we seen it with our own eyes. So if you got kids up in your house, literally, and you're feeding them and giving them candy and luring them in the house, putting their photos on a website and all the weird stuff, yes, he deserved to be personally someone to come in and report him. Until I actually see that myself. I get the videos that you're saying, but I'm not going to go down there and waste time on that. I'm just not.
Of course not.
We don't know if that girl belongs to a bar under some Koreans. I don't want these Koreans hunting me down. We already talked about all that. We already went into, I live in this town. I'm not going to put my neck out unless that person's neck is out. Like literally, their neck is out.
Right.
I think a lot of Scotty's stuff is really put on there just to irk guys, just to, whether it's super creepy, all of that. I think it's a persona. Not all of it, but
I don't know what you've heard, Matt, or I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's the other way around.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna say anything about it, but no, it's the other way around. He's
Who knows? We just know he's from Vegas. A lot of people have been talking about him here lately, but we don't know anything about him. There's supposed to be a lot of tough guys here. And, well,
Hector Gubit says, "I'll send you funds for safekeeping." There you go. Right?
right.
True story.
I think we will wrap this up.
Okay, so the funny thing is about Sex Packs, I suppose, is that he says we've met him. And
So
if you have, then why don't you send us a message? Because obviously, if you've met us, you can contact us, and yet you're not.
who's that? Where did he say that? I seen him
Oh,
mention Andy.
he's up here. You mentioned it because you said something about
You asked for proof. I presented it. That was 1150 from him.
yeah. No, he said
Y'all keep saying evidence, then watch the short. We've already seen it. Why don't you use it? I mean, fly in if it's that important. Why isn't the other person? And I'm not going to keep mentioning the other person's name. That's what they would like us to do at this point. In the bar, dating and living with two different things, especially if you're 45, a former high school teacher. Stuff the other
yeah.
channel said. You
Funny.
know her age. It's wrong.
Funny, you
Okay.
all met me in person 2 years ago.
No. You have an ideal.
Y'all?
Ah, now we know who you are. We
No,
blocked
no,
you.
no, 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 no. We assume we know who it is.
Ah,
Regardless, if you do know who we are, then odds are you can contact us. If you want to have a drink with me, I'm open to it. Put it that way.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're just gonna wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Oh, hey, Sarah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you so much. For those of you again, among yourself, try it. If not, go to Panongs. But I think Panongs is. I don't think we have Panongs here, guys. So we'll try that whenever. Yes, Monica didn't swallow. There you go. That's what she
Right.
saved the dress. She saved the dress the same
Right,
way
Sarah.
OJ saved the glove. Just saying.
Right. All right,
All right, guys. We
guys.
love you all. Thank you
Till
so
next
much.
time, the next live stream, guys.
We love you all.
Bye,
See you guys.
everybody.
Bye.